What do you know? What do you say? That Park Place. Marvin Movie Monster Montanero here. I'm the editor-in-chief of a little website called That Park Place, and I am joined here by the one and only Mr. Vash Sky. What's going on, my friend?
Not too much, not too much. Well, at least where I am, just doing some small stuff, setting up YouTube channels and all of that, getting social medias. But in the world of Disney, quite a bit. The course of Disney has been changed forever as of yesterday, and it looks like we won't be seeing the effects fully until March 18th of this year at the next shareholders meeting. But
already, than any of us thought we were going to see it.
Right. I was assuming that we might hear it maybe Q2, maybe Q3, perhaps Q4. No, not at all. It looks like it's coming up now.
You know what? We'll talk about it when we get into the subject, because there's so much to discuss. I mean, the Disney, like you said, the Disney company has been completely changed, completely shifted, and we are going to discuss a few different topics about that today. But also joining us today, guys, from Hanging with Erica and Raph, the one and only Erica. You're muted.
There we go. How's everyone?
How you doing, Erica?
Doing good. Just crammed my dinner, not my stomach, very quickly.
Fantastic. Yeah, I have food that was supposed to arrive already and hasn't yet, so I'm gonna have to dip at some point to go grab that from the door. But
people don't know, Erica, in her neck of the woods there, it's a little bit later where she is. So for us this morning,
dinner.
It's late.
Yeah, it's 6:05 p.m. here.
And of course, also joining us, guys, the one and only Miss MJ.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
Like, the beginnings of your epic background have begun with that one pair of ears and that one, like
a lantern.
Chinese proverbs say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes.
So you are started the journey. Yes. Yes, it is coming together.
Yes.
But now, guys, before we get into all of the rigmarole of today, our good friend Vash Sky has got a fairly major announcement about what he's been up to, this big YouTube channel project that he is launching. Vash, I want to hear all about this, because I did not spoil myself. I wanted to hear about it on the air, so I didn't ask you privately. So I'm as on the edge of my seat as the rest of the audience is. So please, take it away.
Yes, absolutely. Well, there have been many occasions in histories going back 3 years ago saying, you should really start up your own YouTube channel. You should really start up your own YouTube channel. You should really start that. And I was a little bit hesitant to do it, because obviously it's a large commitment right there. And I wanted to go ahead and make sure from you, that being the viewer, that I was delivering to you the content that you wanted to see and hear. And now, after having done so much with That Park Place and so forth, it was kind of like, perhaps it's time to do it. And today, well, is that launch day. Go ahead and share my screen there, Marvin. I'll go ahead and show everybody the name and what we're going to be doing here. It is Vash Sky Park Cast.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for not telling us that behind the scenes. This is great.
Yep.
Congratulations,
I like the logo. I like the color scheme. I'm all for it. I think this is good. So what kind of content are you looking to make on here? When are you launching your first video?
The launch of the first video is coming up, if not today, certainly tomorrow. I'm going to try to get it out today because I am working on it currently. But obviously, we've got to be talking about Josh tomorrow. We've got to be talking about, maybe somebody he should be looking over his shoulder for, and that being Dana Walden. We're going to be talking about a large plethora of different theme park items, certainly from a West Coast perspective, but certainly my own perspective. And, for the first couple of weeks, it's just going to be me. You're just going to be hearing from me. Some people have said, hey, you know what? We like those videos where it's just you. Well, that is what it is going to be, at least initially. And then we'll go ahead and incorporate panelists. We'll go ahead and incorporate personalities. And I think it should be a lot of fun right there. There's so much going on in the world of theme parks, not just with Disney, but also too with Six Flags, with Dollywood, with a wide array of different theme parks across the nation, Universal and so forth. And so I wanted to go ahead and speak on these things from my own perspective, and doing it in a way that I think the audience will enjoy. So that's what we're going to be doing there. We have actually a series of channels coming utilizing the Vash Sky branding right there. But this is the very first one.
So you're launching like a full on like media empire here then.
Well, we're gonna try. We're gonna try to do it, and people have said to me, "Hey, look, listen. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this?" And sometimes, it works out very well with WWE Pro or that Park Place, but other times, it just is a kind of an odd fit. And so, with those, things that maybe wouldn't otherwise have a place, now they have a place here.
Awesome. I love it. Congratulations, Vash. I just subscribed to it myself.
Yes.
So hopefully everybody else is as well. Guys, go check it out. Just type into the YouTube search bar at Vash Sky Parkcast with no spaces in between it, and you'll find it right away.
Yeah.
And make sure you put that bell notification on, because we all want to make sure that we are getting that first video. Can you tell us the topic of the first video, or are you saving that?
Topic of the first video is going to be obviously Josh D'Amaro and how that is changing the course for Disney. There's no question about that. It's just such big news. Again, for Disney and for us theme park lovers of Disney parks and so forth, it is so huge. Any CEO change at this level, right? It's just it can really shape the course of history and the future for Disney, and especially its theme park product. So we had to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about Dana Walden in her own separate video right there. That's going to be a lot of fun because, yes, a lot of people are talking about Josh, but don't sleep on Dana, and Dana especially Walden, Josh.
I said yesterday, I was like, Dana Walden, like, we may have lost Kathleen Kennedy in the YouTube community, but we've gained Dana Walden. And that's going to be a gift that just keeps on giving. In my video on M4 Empire yesterday about this, I literally just had the picture of her up there, and I just looked over it and I said, "Hello, new friend," because like she's gonna be the lightning rod from here on out.
She is no John Lasseter, though. That's for sure.
Oh, and we'll talk about that. I am
with no creativity, but we're gonna get into that, guys. We will definitely get into. But right now, Vash, anything else you wanted to
one more thing before we leave here. We are also launching the Vash Guy Parkcast name on Instagram, TikTok, and obviously YouTube right there. Twitter will stay the same, Vash Sky right there. And so if you want to go ahead and get notified of everything that we are doing, well, you have a series of platforms to choose from. I do apologize, Marvin. Please. Yes. We can proceed with the show.
All right, guys, make sure you are all subscribed to Vash Sky Parkcast. I know I am, and I'm looking forward to it, to seeing what he's going to be bringing us. But I'm also looking forward to seeing what you guys, the audience, are bringing to us, because we count on your generous super chats to keep the lights on around here and keep the entire pro organization moving forward. And I see right away Snarky to Stink in the chat, stinking it up with 5 that Park Place memberships. Thank you so very much, Snarky.
Every time a membership is gifted, a content creator gets his wings.
Is that gendered language?
We're not at Magic Kingdom, Dad.
My favorite. Thank you very much, Snarky. We do appreciate it. He also, for 5, said, "I have chiropractic at 11. Oh, this snap, crackle, pop will feel really good. Enjoy the show." I hope you get a well adjusted there, my friend. Packing Protons for $2 says, "How's that stock doing?" That it's actually rebounding. So I get what you're trying to say there, Packing Protons, but I think it was back at 108 last time I saw. Yeah, right now it's at 108.04. So again, no financial advice given, but it is starting to bounce back a bit. It's still not up to the 112 that it was at on Monday before the stocks opened, before the earnings call, but it is on the rise right now. Snarky, we got that Snarky one already. Snarky to Stink for 10. Shout out to all my friends in this community. Here's looking at you, Packing Protons, and thinking about so many others that do so much. Stink it up. Hold on, let me switch over to, hopefully we are not going to lose anybody when I switch this over. And nope, we didn't. Great. Because I have got to play Snarky's clip. Fantastic. And Flying Blind in a Rocket Cycle, member for 4 months, says 4 months? Groovy. So, and then Flying Blind in a Rocket Cycle for 199, power to the 199, says good day all. Good day to you, Flying Blind in a Rocket Cycle. Packing Protons for $2. Josh equals Fall Guy. Dana equals CEO within 5 years. You might not be wrong there, Packing Protons.
I'm telling
That
you.
movie was stupid. Fall Guy
Which
was
movie?
just Fall Guy. The movie was so stupid. The movie was dumb.
Justin Dutchy for 50. Does that say 55 euros there? Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
Super sticker. Thank you so much, Justin Dutchy. You are such a tremendous friend to the channel, and we absolutely appreciate it.
We're playing in the green, green grass. Oh, tell me, how do we make it last? Under the sun, the blue stretches.
All right. And Packing Protons for $5 says some breaking UK news that doesn't quite fit here. UK may be getting a new temporary prime minister as early as today. That is fascinating. Packing Protons, we do appreciate everything that you do for us here on the channel, even when it is to our detriment. Thank you very much, my friend.
Wow, that might be my new favorite commercial out of all of these. That was awesome.
It is a good one. It's a good one. Here, hold on. Let's switch back quickly. And oh wow, we kept everybody on the screen. That's fantastic. All right, guys, we are getting into our first kickoff story right here. So let's get into it. House of Mouse has got a new big cheese with Josh D'Amaro ascending the throne of Bob Iger as the next Disney CEO. But coming up from right behind him, Dana Walden taking on a brand new president and chief creative officer position that was apparently created just for her. Now, there have been chief creative officers at Disney in the past, most notably people with actual creativity. But we will see how Dana Walden fits into the new power structure at the Disney company. We're going to talk about it today on That Park Place. Guys, this is a fascinating story. Let's just dive in real quick for those of you that don't know, who have been living under a rock or have not watched the Pro Show yesterday. Walt Disney Company has confirmed its next leadership transition, announcing that Josh D'Amaro will become the next Disney CEO effective next month. The decision, approved unanimously by the board of directors, ends months of speculation around Bob Iger's succession. Now, D'Amaro will formally assume the role of Disney CEO at the company's annual meeting on March 18th. Bob Iger will remain with the company in an advisory capacity through the end of the year, but his tenure as CEO effectively concludes next month, far earlier than anyone had originally planned on. Guys, that's the first thing that I want to discuss about this. Vash, we thought we had Bob Iger at least until the end of the year. We thought that maybe his successor would shadow him. They'd be announced earlier in the year, and then Bob Iger would step aside at the end of the year. But no, Bob Iger is gone in a little over a month.
This was a little bit surprising to see how hastily they actually went about this process. Now, not obviously as hastily as they went about the transition from Bob Iger to Bob Chapek back in, what was that? I think that was, February of 2020. So, I guess it has happened before. But this was, I think a lot of people coming off of that experience were expecting a more protracted process. Man, not the case. And I think a lot of people expected this too, because the company had really said that. They were extending the search out for some time in order to allow for, the candidates to be interviewed and so forth. Here, it happened real fast. They got in all of the board members from, pretty much all over the world, because you have like Mary Barra, for example. She's the CEO of GM. You have Mark Parker. You have all these different people. They were all coming on the Burbank in order to vote for this, and they voted it in quick right there. And so, now we have to examine, okay, what's this handoff actually going to be like? Bob Iger is still the current CEO of Disney, and that transition process didn't occur until March 18th at the next shareholder meeting. At that point, Josh D'Amaro will be activated as the company's next CEO, but also too with this, Dana Walden, who you may have heard as being acquired from that 21st Century Fox acquisition that Bob Iger made from 2017 to 2019. She will now be made the chief creative officer at Disney and its president, which I think is very, very big news. Honestly, I think that might be actually bigger news to some degree than Josh D'Amaro being the CEO, because really his success rests in her hands creatively.
Absolutely. Erica, we are now going to have someone that we can point to, when creativity in the Disney company falls short. That is going to be Dana Walden taking on. Now, the role that she is taking on is new, even though Chief Creative Officer is a title that's been given before. She is the President and Chief Creative Officer. And a lot of people are saying, so we got rid of Kathleen Kennedy, and now we just got a more powerful Kathleen Kennedy. What do you think about that?
Okay, so the creative officer position, is this for the parks too, or just entertainment?
This is everything, really. This is actually John Lasseter's old position when he was still with the company. He was the chief creative officer. Now, he was never president of the company. But here, Dana Walden actually serves as both positions right there. And it's interesting, too, because the president position, we haven't had one consistently, but obviously the most famous one being Frank Wells there, and how he supported Michael Eisner. And that's really the big thing here, is that Frank Wells was really in the support role. I don't know if that's the case for Dana Walden.
They both have big shoes to fill, and I hope their egos don't get in the way, because when we had Eisner and Wells together before Wells passed away, Disney was on fire. And then when John Lasseter was there, a lot of us were hoping he would eventually step into the role of CEO, because he understands the Disney creative. He just seemed to have the whole package. I don't know if I really trust these two on either end, but a lot remains to be seen. It's
that John Lasseter, he could have led the company to new heights of creativity, but he gave one too many hugs.
Yeah,
off the stage.
Darn.
Yeah. MJ, now here's my question to you. Given Josh D'Amaro's record with the parks, now we've seen happened during Josh D'Amaro's reign with the parks. Under Josh D'Amaro, we got the end of Muppet Vision. We got prices through the roof. We got the destruction of the Rivers of America. We got the destruction of Tom Sawyer Island, things like that. Also, Josh D'Amaro, I believe, was one of the main driving forces behind changing Splash Mountain over to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. So with that in mind now, but I've also heard reports that Josh D'Amaro is a lovely person, that he maybe disagrees with Bob Iger on things, that when he's in the parks, he's very personable. He picks up trash. He talks to guests, and he really cares about the parks. Are you feeling good about him moving into the top spot, or do you think, wait, this is the guy that got rid of Muppet Vision? I don't think so.
No, I don't trust him at all. I'm actually apprehensive about how he's going to take care of things. You said it perfectly, and everyone else, in the chat, I agree with you guys. He is responsible for the destruction of Rivers of America, getting rid of Muppet Vision Courtyard in the 3D attraction. I don't care how much he smiles. I don't care how much trash he picks up off the floor, or how well he interacts with the cast members. That's great. But what about doing the right thing and believing in actual Walt's vision and giving us what we deserve as a fandom that grew up watching these beautiful films and also believing in what Walt believed in. And he needs to bring that. If he brings that, then yes, he has my vote, obviously, in the future again. But I am very apprehensive about how he's going to perform as CEO.
That's the interesting thing, Marvin. The CEO position for the Walt Disney Company is so much bigger than just a couple of divisions now. I mean, they're getting into gaming. The theme park division is now 70% of their overall, I believe, revenue, or at least profit. I mean, it's just a huge part of their business. Obviously, they're adding a slew of more cruise ships in that division, but you also have carriage disputes and carriage deals and so forth. How do you turn around broadcasting? How do you turn around cable networks and so forth? Something that used to be so big in Disney's portfolio. You have where will Disney be in this kind of AI race as we're seeing it here? That's going to transform the entire industry. Ted Sarandos just actually spoke with, I believe, Congress about the acquisition of Warner Bros. Discovery and was questioned very hard on what the theatrical slate will actually look like, especially if Netflix does gain access to Warner Brothers, and what happens if the theater industry collapses. What will Disney do at that point? The CEO has to navigate all of that, and I don't know if he's necessarily equipped or ready or competent enough in order to navigate these waters right here. In fact, I don't even know where Disney will be, or any company will be at the end of this AI race, and how that will transform the industry. If Netflix decides to pull their content and this theatrical industry collapses, what's Disney gonna do here? I don't even know. Go ahead, MJ.
No, did you see the clip of Josh D'Amaro talking about getting not? He's promising that AI will not get in the way of people's creativity. Did you guys happen to see that? Do you believe he's? Do you believe what he said though? I mean, I'm trying to.
No, they're about to put user generated AI content on Disney Plus. There's no way, and as soon as other studios start using AI, and let me tell you something right now, James Cameron has been laying the ground for using AI on the next Avatar movies. That's why James Cameron is doing all of these interviews where he's going like, oh, we may have to pull the plug, guys. These movies are so expensive, blah, blah, blah. They're never pulling the plug on those movies. They're never pulling the plug on them. He's saying this because they're going to start using AI for things. And he's trying to make, well, like it was either this or just fold, guys. What was I supposed to do? And I think that that's what's going to happen.
Well, you don't make $1 billion investment into OpenAI for an equity stake if you're not going to utilize their technologies. I just don't see that, and how you navigate that whole thing. And then the NFL and ESPN deal was just approved by the U.S. government. How do you incorporate NFL products into ESPN that would necessarily satisfy Roger Goodell and the other 31 owners as part of that NFL deal? This is all stuff that this CEO is going to have to navigate. I just don't see him doing that. I see him as a smiling face. Please.
The other question about Josh D'Amaro is, will he steer the company out of politics? Because with Dana Walden in a high up position, you'd have to think politics are going to be front of mind, because Dana Walden is Kamala Harris's bestie. She is incredibly political and incredibly involved in what we call the quote unquote woke politics. Josh D'Amaro, we don't really know. Is he going to try to do what Bob Chapek did and steer the company out of that? And will he hit the same resistance? Will that resistance come from Dana Walden? Who, by the way, I really need to know what kind of like diet and skincare regimen Dana Walden does, because that woman is 61 years old.
Impressive. Oh, very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that's the question. Do you think they're going to try to steer the company out of politics?
I see. Especially with Dana Walden, it gives me pause, right? Because I think in 2022, she had written a kind of company memo or a statement regarding, remember the firing of Peter Rice, which was a big upset, right? A lot of people were like, whoa, that's pretty crazy that Bob Chapek would actually do that. But Dana Walden stood by Bob Chapek in the decision. And in that letter, she says that at the television networks and so forth, that inclusion was the top priority, not a top priority, the top priority.
Wow.
And so we know that she is friends with Kamala Harris and all of the baggage that potentially brings with it. It's just, she is very steeped in the politicking or the political realm right here. And I have to think that some of that's going to bleed over into the content. And in this case, because she's chief creative officer, that might be a wider net than previously asserted before.
Now, here's my question. My follow-up question now is, we talked about Josh D'Amaro, we talked about Bob Iger, we talked about Dana Walden. The big question mark is, who is going to take over the theme parks now in the experiences division, now that Josh D'Amaro is moving into the top job? And we can assume that Alan Bergman will just become the sole chair of the Disney Entertainment division. But what's going to happen with the parks and experiences, the most important job in the company, I would dare say, because it is the most profitable division. Look, I would say give it to Photon Empress, but because she's volunteered to take it on, but that's probably not going to happen. So, so who do you guys think is going to take it over?
No clue.
That's the question of the hour.
MJ, Erica, any?
Can't think of
I'm
anyone.
sure
My
Vash
mind
got
draws a
someone he's
blank.
thinking. Go ahead, Vash.
There's a few, but
Fly the dog to
Find
war.
it.
Well, I do apologize. I don't mean to take anybody's voices on this, but I think when I lay out the case, I'm really interested to see what MJ, Erica, and even you, Marv, have to say about this, because I'm thinking it's Jeff Alley. Now, apparently there have been some older statements. I haven't been able to research these myself, but apparently he had declined the offer before. Obviously, things have changed now, and well, he is running the flagship resort for the company, so it would make sense that you lift him up, because if you don't, it's kind of an indictment of his performance if you just pass him by. So I think he'll at least be offered.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm putting my money on Thomas Maslam.
Right. Thomas Maslam, the president at Disneyland Resort. Yes.
I think he's the more likely candidate. Not just because I've heard that from somebody, but I did hear it from somebody that I trust. So but well, yeah, I don't know. He seems like the kind of guy that they would want to promote into that. What do you think?
He has a decent history. Obviously, he ran Cruise Line, which is one of the most successful products in all of the Disney parks library right there. We often talk about Walt Disney World, we often talk about Disneyland, but the cruise lines really are where those double-digit revenue gains have been made before, and it's why they've been so aggressive in adding to their fleet. So it makes sense. I've also heard Ken Potrock. He was the previous head of Disneyland. Especially during the time of kind of rebuilding post pandemic, because he literally got the job, I think, like maybe days before the parks went dark for 412 days, and had to really staff back up, because remember, they had cut, I think it was in excess, I think it was like 28,000 cast members, a lot of those coming from Disneyland. So they had to hire up and so forth. And it was a very laborious process for Disneyland Resort in particular. And he kind of steered them out of that. Now, he has since been assigned to handle some big time events, especially in the LA area with the World Cup and the Super Bowl, and I do believe the Olympics that are going to be in the LA area, and also to handling the 250th anniversary of the country, and the company's position on that, and the celebrations and so forth. So, it makes sense, but I don't know. I'm not sure he has the same breadth of experience that Thomas Maslam has, for example.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure that an announcement about this is coming sometime within the next week or two. They're probably letting the dust settle from the CEO announcement, and then they'll make it. Because the one thing you have to remember is that when these big announcements are made, there is an impact to the stock. So I'm sure they're trying to mitigate, whatever impact is going to happen. But I'm sure that before, Josh D'Amaro is officially given the job at the meeting in March, that we will find out more about who's going to be running the experiences division. It is too important, because it's going to be an entire internal shuffle going on, because then let's say Thomas Maslam takes over the experience division, then somebody else has got to take over Disneyland, so and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a huge reshuffling of what's going on throughout both the theme parks and film and cruise line and all of that stuff. So time will tell whether Josh D'Amaro can actually steer the ship in the right direction, or if Disney has just hit the iceberg. All right, guys, we have got a ton of super chats that just came in during that last segment. A lot of you guys want to be heard regarding this scenario specifically. And right off the bat, we got to jump the line a little bit, because Photon Empress with $100. Thank you so much, Photon. It says disagree with Proton. Well, Proton and Photon are at odds here. Vash, we might have an issue here.
It seems like it.
Yeah. Hold on. It says, I think because Josh knows the park so well and the parks are so important to bottom line, he may be immune to internal sabotage. Just needs to bring extreme success to the parks for the rest of Disney to get lifted. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I kind of agree. I'm a little more worried that Dana Walden is going to try something against him. I think
absolutely.
Yeah, like I think that she's going to sit back and let him make mistakes that maybe somebody, with his experience doesn't have in the films and TV, division. But then again, if there are mistakes being made in that division, that's going to fall on Dana Walden, Vash.
Yes, absolutely, and it's partially why she didn't get the top spot at CEO herself, right? Because honestly, they were saying this back in, I think, December of 2022 when Bob Iger came back in, that Dana Walden was conceivably the next in line, and it was hers to lose. I think even Matt Bellany from Puck recently said that as well. And so it's like, how'd she lose? Well, remember, they lost $110 million from that carriage dispute recently with YouTube. They the Jimmy Kimmel thing. She is all over that. Her association with Kamala Harris, who didn't actually win. All of these things were kind of detriments to the future success of the company. And then, it's like, yes, she's really good in the TV realm, but what does she do in movies? Because that's really kind of Alan Bergman's territory, and Alan Bergman isn't going anywhere. And from what I understand, will still be leading that side of the business right there. That being said, though, Josh Giamaro, he has a unique positive in that, like you said, Marvin, not only has he worked in the parks division, and it contributes so much to the success of the company, but also, too, he worked in consumer products as well. They're the same division, and he kind of knows, like, okay, what characters sell, what characters don't, what characters move, what characters stay on the shelves, and so forth. So he can kind of navigate that as well. But I don't trust Dana Walden as far as I can throw her. There's an Alex Sherman article going back December 2022. Just read that, folks, and you tell me whether
I
or not she's
trust her when
trustworthy.
it comes to, like, skincare routines, because man, that woman is well preserved. But
True.
61 years old, I still cannot believe that.
Very
well,
impressive.
when you have money, you can get those things done, surgery and Botox,
You
and
can get the blood of
it
innocence
works.
in, and,
that Brentwood water, folks.
My Lord.
All right. Thank you so much, Photon Empress. That was a very generous super chat. We really appreciate it. Woohoo! All right. OG Dutchy for €6 says, congratulations, Vash. I subscribed. Excited for you and what you will bring. I am too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. I think you're going to like what we're bringing to the table.
Packing protons for $5. There's got to be more files relation than we know. Otherwise, why get rid of him fast? I didn't bring up the the files in that conversation just because, I mean, it is such a I think it's a leap to, like, I think that it is so far removed from the actual bad stuff in the files. It is literally just that somebody wanted to bring litigation against the Disney company by trading information about the files and the Island Man, Vash, unless I'm mistaken on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, okay. I think the issues surrounding the files and the Island Man and all of that really lie within very, very much the tail end of the Michael Eisner era and some of the Bob Iger era, right? But it's really found within there. I don't know if it necessarily has relevance to now. Although I will say, Bob Iger leaving on the same day that 3 million documents were dumped by the DOJ, that's really bad optics, no question about that. But clearly, Bob Iger wants to get out. Now that we're entering the Josh Giamaro era, I think it's most important and most prudent for us to focus on what these executives currently do. Because, I mean, I'm telling you, Josh Giamaro, I mean, people have opinions about him either way, especially if you look at the parks and so forth. The real thing, though, is Dana Walden. To have her elevated in that position, like, I don't like her there.
I think Jonas put it beautifully the other day. How dare you sit where he sits?
It's how dare you stand where he stood the Harry Potter movie? It's 100%. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Vash, could you read this next one? I have to run to grab something at my door real quick.
Absolutely. Flying blind on a record cycle for $9.99. Thank you so much. So if Josh is the fall guy and Dana Walton becomes CEO and she is besties with Kathleen Kennedy and brings her back, we can still get a second season of The Acolyte? Yeah, I don't know. That's a couple leaps right there. I'm not quite sure that's going to happen right there. It is possible that something happens to Josh Giamaro related to his performance, of course, that in the eyes of the board, they say, you know what, you really can't do this. Let's go ahead and have Dana Walton in and we'll just make her CEO. That is a possibility right there. Kathleen Kennedy coming back, though? No. I will say, though, there was a meeting between Alan Bergman and Dana Walton regarding Kathleen Kennedy and her performance at Lucasfilm. Alan Bergman famously wanted to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Dana Walton wanted to keep her. So, again, this just filling you in on the mindset of her creativity, as Josh Giamaro pointed out there on ABC.
Yes, absolutely. Wild and Crazy Bear for $2 says, Marv, what is your favorite film of 1992? That would be Muppet Christmas Carol. I know he's asking me that because they did that on Lauren Apollo last night. That was films of 1992, but I was not able to be there. And you'll find out why I wasn't able to be there in our next segment, because I'm going to be giving you guys some inside info on a thing that I got to experience yesterday. So, Snogging to Stink for $10. Iger 2.0. I don't see anything changing. I think Iger will control him behind the scenes. Dana will continue to destroy creativity with her complete lack thereof. It is possible. It's certainly possible.
Dana Walton takes walks with Iger regularly in Brentwood. We know that for a fact.
She is definitely the Iger choice. I don't think Josh Giamaro was the Iger choice. So.
No. And I keep bringing it up, folks, because she is elevated to such a position that really her tendrils are now in everything regarding just about everything at Disney.
People are going to lay at literally every bat. Like anytime Marvel does a flop, anytime Star Wars flops, anytime a Disney animation flops or a TV show gets canceled, it's all going to be laid at the feet of Dana Walton. And as I said, that's why I said she's like the new Kathleen Kennedy times a million.
True.
So, except she's the actual creative. Like Kathleen Kennedy, you at least have the thing where you're like, well, how much creative input does she really have? Like Dana Walton, creative input is literally her thing now. So, Kelvin for $10 says, so the minds behind necessary downgrades, The View, Tiana's, etc., are now in charge. Lunatics take charge of the asylum from the crooked prison boss. It kind of seems like that to me. Yeah. But
yeah. I mean,
time will tell.
I was trying to track the history of Josh Giamaro and Tiana's by Adventure specifically because I think people were asking, like, hey, did he have an input on that? And it's like, well, he was the chairman of Experiences at that time. Then it was called Parks, Experiences, and Products. But he was on the job for a little bit over a month when they made that announcement right there, and then went to a number of universities to try to, tout how the company was very inclusive and how they were changing over Splash Mountain into Tiana's by Adventure, which was going to be far more representative of how the company felt about certain individuals.
Absolutely. Well, guys, hold on one second. This dial over here just changed. There we go. We've got to move on. We'll get to your super chats in between the next segment, but we got to talk about something here because last night I got to experience shape language.
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park!
Last night, I got to experience something that has been new to the Walt Disney Company, something we've been kind of negative on in the past, and got a bit of a new perspective on a new offering over at Epcot. Yes, last night, Drunk 3POJ and I went to Geo82 at Epcot, the new lounge in Spaceship Earth overlooking World Celebration. And we reviewed it for an upcoming Park Hopping vlog. But I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about it and my thoughts on it here today on That Park Place. All right, guys. So last night, like I said, Jay and I went to Geo82. And we all know Geo82. It's pretty infamous on this show, right? Because Geo82 was where this came from.
And so what we've tried to do is really bring that shape language from the architecture. But like what we love to talk about at WDI is shape language. And we often refer to shape language.
There's such iconic shape language in Spaceship Earth at the attraction. We really wanted to make sure that we fused to that throughout the space.
Yeah. So that is the place where I was. But so there will be a full vlog about this on the Park Hoppin' channel. So I'm not going to give everything away, but I got to tell you guys, I liked this place. It was really nice. It was awesome. We'll call balls and strikes, guys. When it's worth putting something over, we'll put it over. I really dug this place. I know it's like an adults only thing, but it's more of like it's one of those upgraded experiences, I guess. Kind of like a Victorian Albert's almost, but way more affordable. So when you go in through Spaceship Earth, when you go in through like that main area, and this is the little lobby area here. Where you wait to be called, and then you either go up the elevator or you go up the stairs. And then once we got in there, this was what we saw. I mean, it is a gorgeous space. It has a beautiful overlook of the park, and it's smaller than I thought it was. A lot smaller than I thought it was. I understand why reservations are so scarce, because there really isn't a lot of room here. Now, when we sat at the bar, the lights were really cool. The shape language was speaking to me pretty much the entire night. I'm not going to say that I suddenly endorse shape language here, guys, but this was the bar where we sat, and the staff. I cannot say enough good things about the staff of GO82. The cast members there they were like the super Disney cast members. They were like the cast members of old. They were super helpful. They were super friendly. They talked to us throughout the night. We had full conversation. They made the best recommendations. At one point, Jay finished his drink and wanted something else, and they made him something off the menu because she was just like, "Hey, I've got a great thing that I know pairs really well with what you just had, so let me make it up." And so she made it up and gave it to Jay, and he was like, "Wow, what is this?" She goes, "Oh, it's my own creation. It's off the menu."
Oh,
Wow, that's pixie dusting right there.
Yeah.
I like pixie dusting.
Yep.
So they didn't give you a moist towelette when you walked in, Marvin, when you were waiting in the little.
There was no moist towelette or anything like that.
They were offering those when they first opened.
It wasn't that kind of bougie. So this was so Jay had this up here. It was like the old fashioned. It was Woodford Reserve Double Oak Bourbon, brown butter maple, Hella Cocktail Company Mexican chocolate bitters, and I had the clarified New York sour with Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style bourbon, Lustau sherry, yuzu, lemon, and a red wine float. So this was Jay's right here. That was the old fashioned that he got, and then I got this amazing looking thing. And this was one of the coolest things that I've ever had to drink. Like, it was.
Your coaster is shape language too.
It is.
So
There
is
was
your
shape language in
glass.
the coaster. We did point that out. But the
Wow.
I really liked the drink. I thought it was very good. The red wine on top of it was a really interesting like flavor there. Like
Profile?
the flavor profile was really interesting with like the Prohibition era bourbon plus the red wine float. It was really interesting. The bartender actually told us that it's called a New York what was it called? The New York clarified New York sour, but it actually comes from Chicago. So, and I only had this one drink. Jay had a couple, but I'm typically one drink and I'm done. But the ice cube was like a nice big cube, like a big block. They also had like the circular ice cubes that go in. It was like, it felt like a very like classy upscale thing. Now these drinks were about, I think mine was 26 and Jay's was 28.
Wow. Ouch.
Yeah, so they are expensive drinks. Like, this is not a place you can go to all the time. But the other thing we tried was the food. And so here, I'll show you this one first. This is the thing that I ordered. This is some kind of crab concoction. So it was like crab and like various cheeses and stuff like that. And
like an elevated crab cake almost.
Kind of like an elevated crab cake, but more of like a mix between a crab cake and a crab dip.
Interesting.
It was like if you like solidified crab dip into like a thing that you can like cut into with like a knife and a fork. It was good. It was small, but it was good.
The stuff on top, is that arugula?
I believe so. I removed it immediately and didn't touch it again. So,
I hate arugula. It's too bitter.
you'll see it on the video. Like when we get it, I literally just take it off. I said, "This will not be necessary." But yeah, I mean, somebody says, yeah, kind of a Krabby Patty. But this charcuterie board.
Oh,
So
wow.
when we opened the menu, I literally scoffed. You'll hear it on the vlog. I scoffed because I'm like, a $30 charcuterie board? Like, seriously? Guys, this charcuterie board was worth 50.
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah.
it
Wow.
was so good. I never thought I'd rave like this about charcuterie. But man, was this good. Like,
What's the jelly on the orange looking conjunction on
it
the
was some kind of like
jelly?
fruit
Like
jam or
jam?
something like that.
Okay.
But it was good.
Mhm.
Like when you actually like
Looks
dip the bread
like
in it, and
marmalade.
the cheeses. One was a brie, one was like a truffle infused cheese, and one was a blue cheese. And they
Oh,
had
I am-
somerset, and they had salami, and they had these like artisan breads and little pickles. I mean, it was like I couldn't. When Jay was like, "We're ordering the charcuterie board," I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I was like, for $30 for charcuterie, I was like really salty about it. And then like I took one bite into the salami, and I was like, "Oh, okay." No, I get it now. And like the bartender told us, they're like, "This is the best charcuterie on property," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, you gotta, you know,
that's
yeah,
saying
you
a
have
lot. 'Cause
to."
Disney Springs has some pretty good places that have good charcuteries.
I couldn't believe how
Mhm.
good this was. I
I'm-
couldn't believe how good the cheeses were. I couldn't like.
I'm-
I've never like thought this about like charcuterie before, but like it was. So I remember one time I got the charcuterie board at like Be Our Guest, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the quality of items, but also to the portion size for $30 at this particular restaurant. Again, I mean, you're you're only a couple of bucks above drink territory, and it looks like it pretty a nice helping. Go ahead, Erica.
There was. We shared the charcuterie board, and it was, yeah, like it was enough for the two of us, and we're both big guys, so. But yeah, I mean, so guys, you'll see a lot of it in the vlog that we did for Park Hoppin'. It should be up on Park Hoppin' within the next couple of days. This was a really cool experience. Now, I will say the bill at the end of the night came out to like $180, which is a lot, you know?
Yeah.
We saw people come in for the dessert party, the fireworks dessert party. That is apparently $175 a head.
Yes, I did say that
Heard
on the
about
last
that.
time.
So
That's
the
that's
thing.
not even including tax or gratuity. That's just
It is
175 per person, and
Yeah.
then plus tips and all the.
it's an expensive night out, like, right? So like we were between two of us with 4 drinks and 2 pieces of food. It was $180, which is quite a lot. Now, there is something to be said, I think, about, you know, whether or not this belongs in Epcot. I mean, because it was a cool experience, but it did feel like something that would have been more at home at one of the resorts,
Yeah.
as opposed to putting something in the theme park that kids can't go to, right?
Yeah, 21 and older.
And we have talked about that before. We've talked about the issues with that in the past. But I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it doesn't have its issues. It's way too pricey. I think it's too small. And I don't really agree with having adults only places in the theme park. I'm for it at the resorts, and I'm for it on the cruise ships, but not in the theme parks. It just, for some reason, that doesn't sit well with me. But all in all, this was a great experience, and we stayed long enough to actually catch the fireworks.
How nice. That's
And
beautiful.
the fireworks from this location were breathtaking. It was incredible. So, do you guys have any questions about this that I can answer?
It kind of gives you insight into what they were thinking with that kind of festival platform that they were, going to build up
I can
until
only
the point they
fathom
didn't.
one thing from this. With this view, this photo says everything. You go here and you get on your, as soon as they lights and the fireworks start, you get on your knee and you propose. That's this type of place. That's it. I don't think anything else.
Yeah.
I don't even think a birthday. It's too elevated. It's too, this is where you take someone to propose. It's just, look at that.
That's true.
Yeah. Erica, what do you think from what I've shown you thus far?
I'm kind of locked in on what MJ just said. Raph proposed to me at Cinderella's castle during the fireworks.
Yeah, you did.
In the restaurant. And so I'm sitting here kind of going back like, oh yeah, I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my question is on the menu for people that are like on sugar-free diet, whether for medical purposes or for lifestyle changes. Is there anything on there for people like that have to eat sugar-free, like carb-free?
Well, I mean, if you just had like the meats, I think that would
Mhm.
probably be fine. Like in the charcuterie board, like if you shared it with somebody else and you only stuck to the meats, that would probably. But as far as the drinks go, I mean, there was, just your standard wine and liquor and beer. So though I can't
Yeah.
imagine going there and just getting a Yingling, but
Yeah.
that was on the menu. But yeah, I didn't 100% look into like the accessibility stuff. Maybe I
Mhm.
should have, but
Most of
yeah,
these places are very accommodating. If you let them know I have a gluten or dairy allergy, they'll give you like a point things out on the menu that exists or give you a different menu most of the
look,
time if they're
and,
good.
and look, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that there should be more bars in Disney. I'm not saying there should be more of these lounges. I'm not saying I agree with this having even been built. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that what they built is pretty nice. Whether or not
It is
something better could have gone in
beautiful.
there, I 100% think that's possible. I mean, and I know you guys don't like when we like things, but I mean, sometimes you gotta. Here's the thing: for a channel to be good, you have to call balls and strikes. We have to be objective about these things because, um, sometimes things are good, sometimes things are bad. That's just life. Like not everything is a black and white experience. Um, yeah,
What's I wanted to ask. I wanted to get a sense of the vibe of this particular experience, right? The atmosphere, because unlike other Disney bars, like for example, like Magic Kingdom or even Disney's Hollywood Studios, there's no interactive Rex in the corner. There's no Barker Bird up there. What were the vibes like? And would you recommend something atmospheric in this case?
look at Pro booing us.
I know I saw.
No, it's a very subdued atmosphere. Like nobody was being loud, nobody was being rowdy. It was a lot of like talking to the a lot of conversation happening with the cast members there. Good lord. Now look at it.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. That was actually me, Lauren Connor. Thank you. But yeah, I would say it's a very laid back atmosphere.
Yeah.
It is an atmosphere that you go, it's a great place to get out of the hustle and bustle of the theme park. It is, and I think they're also cognizant of how much they're serving, because like I did hear one of the bartenders saying like you're not gonna get sloshed here. So it was.
Is there a drink maximum?
You know what? I don't know because I only ever have one. But
Gotcha.
I did hear one of the bartenders say that we're not going to let you get,
Before we get out of this little segment, because I know we're I just want to let people know that if you are with your family or a big group of friends and you don't have the budget for this type of place, if you head over to Coronado Springs and you go to the Dahlia Lounge, make a reservation ahead of time. It's less expensive and you get a free view of the fireworks, and you're welcome. They also have a patio. You will thank me.
Now, one other thing that I would like to bring up, that's good advice, MJ. One other thing that I would like to bring up here is this is, against Walt's vision, I think. And that's why I don't like these bars and these big lounges popping up in Disney everywhere, because Walt wanted a family experience. He didn't want drunken rowdiness. So I would like to see them stop making these lounges, but I think that every single park is going to have one of these at some point. Magic Kingdom just got one. I think Magic Kingdom's getting another one. Like we were talking about with the the Villains Land and Cars Land buildings, that we think there's going to be some kind of haunted mansion lounge.
Well, here, if you think about it, Magic Kingdom being a barrel, and then you have Geo82 here at Epcot, and then Animal Kingdom's been had one, Nomad Lounge. You can go there and have a few alcohol drinks if you want. We go to Nomad to enjoy the views, and the bites and eats are the same. They share the same kitchen as the I forget the restaurant right next to it. You guys know what it is, but Nomad is great. But that is technically, you can sit down and have alcoholic beverages. So yeah, you're right. eventually all the parks are just going to have a lounge or a bar where you can go and relax and have a few drinks, if you will. But I like Nomad Lounge at Animal Kingdom because they also have a lot of mocktails. And I ordered my
They had
kids a
mocktails
Shirley
on this
Temple.
menu too. There
Yeah, it's
were
great.
there were zero proof mocktails on this menu as well.
Oh, great.
I almost got one actually because one of them was like a mocktail Manhattan, and I like a Manhattan.
Ooh.
And I was curious as to how you do that without alcohol. So
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
my grandfather, God rest his soul, had a Manhattan every day, like every day of his adult life. That was his drink. And when I had turned 21, I had said, you know what? I'm gonna have one of those Manhattans with you. And I
Nice.
drank it really, really
Nice.
fast because I was like not used to like what alcohol was like yet. And I stood up and fell right back down.
It's a strong one.
Yeah, it is a strong drink.
Mhm.
But there you guys have it. In my review of GO82, like I said, it was a fun experience. It was a great experience to share with a friend. Look for the full experience on Park Hoppin' YouTube channel in a couple of days. You know, don't hate me for liking something, I guess is what I could say. Do I think it should have been built? No, I don't. But it's there, and it was actually a really fun experience. So that is where I'm going to leave that. All right, we've got some more super chats to get to, guys. It really was nice. Like, you know, I think I even went in there almost kind of wanting to hate it, like, 'cause it's just like,
Yeah.
shape language, like, and when I got, I'm just like, oh no, this is not bad. Texas 8412 for 5 says, Josh says he wants to bring back classic elements. What do you all think that means? That is a good question.
That's what I'd like to know.
Free fast pass, no reservations. I don't think that's going to be it, though.
Accommodations for the people with disabilities. Legitimately?
National Express, maybe housekeeping.
Oh, housekeeping. Oh, the love
He
of
says
housekeeping.
element, and I keep thinking, okay, well, what does that word mean to Josh? Because, if you really mean in regards to like fast pass and after hours, with the resorts, that would be more of a benefit than an element. So I'm just thinking, I'm just analyzing the verbiage, the word, element. I'm like, that could mean anything. It could mean that could mean simply just changing the color of a trash can,
Right.
I'd like to look at the context of that quote right there and kind of see what he was referring to around that in order to get kind of an idea there, because classic elements could mean, hey, we want to, I don't know, have more brand deposits, in the form of live action remix of our animated classics. It could be that maybe they're doing original storytelling when it comes to attractions and so forth, something we did not see during the Bob Iger era. It could be any number of things. And look, Josh can say a lot. It's really going to be about what he does, though. What's going to make the difference?
Packing Protons for $5 says, you just had a phantom EVP voice appear during Vash's talk. It read a total of 6 words, and I swear I heard Park Place in it mentioned. Recording now. Apparently, maybe we have ghosts,
Ghosts?
Stopping around in here? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's no turning
I was
back
hoping he would
now.
do that.
Albertus Magnus for 5. These two have no interest in giving fans anything they want. Their job is to instruct people into correct think and force behaviors. Everything is politics. As much as I don't want to believe that, Albertus Magnus, I have a hard time not believing it. So,
yeah, I've heard that Josh D'Amaro is a little bit less interested in the political theater, let's say, but that can't be said for D'Amaro. And guess what? She's in charge of creative, so great.
yeah, well, I mean, so she reports to DeMauro. So DeMauro could say to her, I don't want this crap in our movies and TV, and she'd have to listen. But if he's letting her do what she's going to do,
it's going to depend on how hands-on is he? Is he going to be looking over every single decision she makes, or are you going to be, trusting your CCO to make the correct decisions?
Every movie 5 times like Bob?
I mean, maybe.
It'll be also the level of her gaslighting if she decides to be that kind of a, coworker where she wants to use the feminist card, I mean, you just don't know what's going to go on behind closed doors
So true.
during,
So true.
you know, and it's anyone's guess, y'all, anyone's guess. And it sucks because we have more negative to go out. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And we don't really have a whole lot to go on.
Yeah, I mean, all we have to go on is the history of these two executives. And
Yep.
I don't know, like
It doesn't
Josh
look right.
Yamaro, right? When he was in charge of the parks under Bob Chapek, was the one being blamed. And when when Bob Chapek was removed, and it was everybody else's fault for what was going on in the Parks Division, even though he was sending out letters to Imagineering, for example, to move them to Lake Nona in 18 months, or you don't have a job. He was the one that instituted Genie Plus and now Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass for the parks that have completely changed the paradigm there. He was the one that instituted reservations, at the parks. And I know my West Coast friends, they don't like that very much at all. And I understand that. But he was the one in charge of the hyper monetization of the Parks Division, or at least he was in charge at the time. So
a lot of people
there
say
you
that,
go.
he's just following orders. He's doing what Iger was telling him to do. He's doing what Chapek was telling him to do. I wonder about that because I wonder how hands-on Bob was with the experience division. I don't know if he was that hands-on.
Iger, no. Chapek, maybe a little bit more because he came from there, right? But again, though, these policies stayed with two different CEOs. So even if you want to say, well, maybe it's just Josh Yamar who's just following orders and he's just listening to Chapek does. Okay, well, Iger comes in. And Iger doesn't remove any of these things. And so you have to believe that Josh Yamaro was the one to initiate those things and the one to keep them in place. We'll see what happens.
Josh Yamaro, he's also very, he's not afraid of the camera. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, he's not camera shy at all.
Bob Iger was. Bob Iger doesn't like to be on camera. You could tell Bob Iger has no personality when he has to speak. Josh Yamaro is the guy who is going out there at D23 and doing the parks presentation. He's the guy that you turn your resort TV on and there's a video of him welcoming you. I don't remember Chapek doing that.
Yeah, I would say Iger's kind of in the middle, right? He likes to be on camera only if it's scripted, if it's selective, if it's something he can control. Right?
Yeah.
That's why he likes to be on camera. Not a hair out of place kind of guy. Josh Yamaro doesn't matter the venue. He likes to be on camera no matter what. Chapek, very much the opposite, right? Never like to be on camera, never like to be in interviews and so forth. So that's kind of the dynamic playing out there.
Yep. Thank Burton says, tagged you on Tweety, re-EVP. I'll check it out later. Although Casavona for 5 months says, if Dana is smart, she'll be quiet and do her job.
Well, then she'd fire back with, I'm more than just a woman who just should be told to shut up and, stay in my role.
She just simply hasn't been that person. I mean, she was the one talking to Susan Arnold, the previous chairman of the board, to oust Chapek in 2022. And she stood by Chapek to oust Peter Rice when she took his job. So it's she's never been somebody to sit behind and just let things play out. No, she's an initiator.
Just dropped even more on.
Pagenberg says new current plushie at Disney equals $35 worth. I have not seen this new plushie. But there is a lot more Muppet stuff happening lately. I guess because the Muppet Show debuts today. I've not watched it yet.
I'm scared to watch that.
I'm
I don't
terrified of watching it.
I don't even want to know what Carpenter and Rogan are doing to my Muppets. And it doesn't even sound like Kermit. I don't even understand. There's so many talented people in this world. Where did they find this person to voice Kermit? It's not Kermit.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. So yeah, I'll check it out later and see what there is to see about it. What was that, Vash?
Did you read that Drew Taylor article from The Wrap talking about the Muppets?
I did not.
I'll send
I
you
saw that it exists. I saw that they said that Josh Yamaro wanted more Muppets in the parks, and I was like, the guy that got rid of Muppet Vision 3D wants more Muppets in the parks.
No. The guy that deceived everyone at D23 and said, yeah, we're going to have Monstropolis and this and this and this. And okay. And then didn't say where it was going to be at.
Indeed.
And that's why Josh scares the daylights out of me.
He didn't want to get booed.
And that Wrap article didn't say that. If you read it, it doesn't say what you think it says if you're just looking at the cliff notes. So I'll go ahead and send it to you, Marvin, because I think it's very interesting. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Oh, I'll absolutely take a look at it. Call sign Bob for 5 is wondering if that's arugula. Where's Culture Casino when you need him?
Culture
Arugula.
Casino,
Oh,
the superhero of
gross.
vegetables.
Superhero vegetables. Is that actually the lyric? I don't know.
No, that's my.
Purple potatoes, fried green tomatoes, arugula.
With a charge, the spark of truth, the storm you can't silence.
Culture Casino. Let's go. Culture Casino. When the EMS tries their best, driving
When
down,
false authority
check it,
strikes,
check
I
it,
strike back.
Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Culture.
I
let
love
all
the
30 sound
arugula
seconds
part.
play.
Arugula. It's like
Oh my
arugula.
gosh, that's funny.
The FTM 22 for $5 says there's nothing like an Eisner Wells team, and this is nothing like one. Can Josh even do much after the overall destruction in the parks? A legacy fan. That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a very good question. So, we shall see, guys. We shall see. All right, but we have got to see something else now. We've got to move on to our next topic because what's going on is Walt Disney World becoming more affordable? No, it's not.
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park.
Rejoice, annual pass holders and Florida residents, because it looks like annual passes are now less expensive. Yes, it certainly looks that way, but reality and the way things look are not always the same thing. The Walt Disney Company is reducing annual pass down payments by 50%, sure, but does that actually mean that your pass is going to be cheaper? Spoiler alert, no. And we're going to talk about it today on That Park Place. All right, guys, this story drove me insane because this is kabuki theater. This is such semantics. Walt Disney World announced a new offer that lowers the required down payment for Florida residents that wish to purchase annual pass. Under this promotion, eligible residents can begin any can begin any of the 4 annual pass options with a $99 down payment. Now that's about half of the typical amount previously required under the Florida resident monthly payment plan. The offer applies to all 4 annual pass types: the Pixie Dust Pass, the Pirate Pass, the Sorcerer Pass, and the Incredipass. After the $99 initial payment, purchasers enter a 12-month installment plan with 0% annual percentage rate. Monthly payments are determined by the remaining balance after the down payment. Now, those monthly payments vary by pass type. For the Pixie Dust Pass, monthly payments under the promotion are about $35.13, bringing its total cost to $489 over 12 months. The Pirate Pass is $68.88 per month, with a total cost around $869. The Sorcerer Pass carries monthly payments of $89.29, roughly $1,099 in total. And the Incredipass is $136.33 per month, which is totaling $1,629. And guys, this is how all of this shakes out, because yes, you are paying less upfront, but you are not paying less. You are actually paying more per month. So I think it's a better idea to pay another $100 up front than it is to just, pay through the nose every single month. Guys, Vash, what do you think about this?
Yeah, they're just clearly making Walt Disney World more accessible, at least initially. But to your point, I mean, the monthly payment does go up pretty good, because now you are paying less up front. And that's the thing. I think when we looked at the last quarter there, the quarterly results that would have been in Q1 fiscal year 2026, they actually noted how international visitation would go down. That was the guidance that they offered. And I think Matt Bellany of Puck News actually was saying that was the big reason why the stock dropped 7% when those earnings were revealed, because of that guidance, because they knew that, the economy is going to be slowing down here, especially for theme parks in the immediate future. And so how do you, bump up those numbers? Well, you offer a series of discounts to your Florida residents. And in this case, I think they're making it accessible for people who might not have purchased into an annual pass, who might be considering it, say, oh, okay, let's go ahead and do this, not really understanding what awaits them on the other side, that being the monthly payments themselves.
Now, when I moved here, it was maybe $200 or $300 down, and it was like $60 a month, and that was for like the Incredipass. Like that, they didn't have those tiers. At the time, it was just the annual pass. So you didn't have blockout. I don't think you had blockout dates because I know my original pass did not. So it's like $60 a month. Now that same pass for no blockout dates is $133 a month.
Yikes.
That's pretty insane. I mean, right now my Sorcerer pass, because I have the water park option and the photos on it, that's upwards of $90. Like that's almost $100 a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Now, MJ, with annual pass holders in Walt Disney World, one of the big things is always they treat you like a freeloader until they need you. Like they very historically tried to limit the number of annual pass holders. What does it say about the current state of Walt Disney World when now all of a sudden they're like, come on over, guys? Like,
it screams desperation, and then at the same time it's like, haha, we got you. Because when you really look into the shape language of the details of the annual passes, you will see that in the shape language it says that you're going to be paying this amount, and it's going to be this amount, and it's really going to be this amount. So when I first saw it, I was like, oh, they're desperate. And then I clicked it and I was like, oh yeah, you're trying to get, without the annual pass holders, attendance wouldn't be the way it is. And let's just be frank, it's sad that they're going this route. It would have been really cool to see them have it for a couple months, like $50 off the normal price of X amount, or $100. Like shave some money off of that thing. Half of the place is under construction anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Erica, do you think this is smoke and mirrors? Do you think they're actually trying to make it more accessible? Or do you think this is just like, hey, look, it's cheaper, when in actuality it's not?
Yeah, they're just, I can't think of the word, but they're just manipulating the headline. It's like clickbaits. You're still paying that amount for the pass. It's not cheaper. And you just have to just do the math, not even read the fine print. It's just simple math, and budget accordingly if you really want to be an annual pass holder. Get those Target Disney cards, the gift cards, or just put money to the side cash for a year and then pay cash outright, the following year. I don't know. It's I hate how they're doing that. In the meantime, Universal, sometimes they'll put out deals where you get like 2 months free, or is it 3 months?
Yes, they give
They've
you
done
3
that
months.
before.
They just did that promotion not too long ago where you sign up and you get 3 months for free. Yes.
Is that for all customers, or is that just like Florida resident or Florida, Georgia residents?
It's a good question, Erica. I'm not sure.
I really wish they would pay attention more to what Universal is doing with how they tier out their passes and the pricing, and just, it's just tap into reality here. Half your parks are under construction compared to your competitor, but yet your competitor is coming out with a much cheaper option. I don't know. It's kind of
not only that, but I think the Universal pass holders get a lot more perks than the annual pass holders at Disney.
Yeah. There's a lot more. The Universal annual pass holders get a lot more depending on the tier that you invest in. But this has always been my hang up with Disney, and forcing your out-of-state guests to have to purchase your top tier pass. That's another thing that really irritates me. But no, you're not saving money. You just have to do the math. And I've learned with Disney over the years, you can't just believe the headline. You need to read the fine print and then pull out your calculator.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, guys, at the end of the day, they used to give so much to annual pass holders. Annual pass holders were treated like royalty around there. You were given things like, I remember Food and Wine Festival. If you went X amount of times, you got this amazing tumbler glass. Like it was a tumbler glass and it had like the the annual pass holder logo on it, and it said like Food and Wine Festival. Another year it was a cutting board. They used to give you such
cutting
amazing
boards. I got one.
Yeah. And then it started getting smaller and smaller. Then it was like, okay, now it's drink coasters. Okay, now it's
magnets.
Magnet, and now it's nothing. Now they don't give you anything.
That's
They give you the
sad.
occasional magnet rollout, but like nothing for the festivals anymore.
Mm-mm. Not even to
It's a
keep tote
shame.
bags.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over at Universal, annual pass holders are treated a lot better. There is an annual pass holder lounge in Islands of Adventure.
Yes.
It is in the Toon Lagoon area. You can
Mhm.
go in to the pass holder lounge and it's air conditioned in there. You can buy drinks. They have discounted merchandise in there as well, like stuff that's going off the shelves, on clearance sale, and annual pass holder merch. So that's an amazing thing. Now, SeaWorld will roll out the red carpet for their annual pass holders. At
Yeah.
SeaWorld, there's a pass holder lounge also, and it's bigger and it's amazing. And there's a soda fountain in there where you could just get free drinks all
Yeah.
day.
Wow.
The
Yes.
discounts are steeper too with SeaWorld and
Oh,
Busch
big time.
Gardens parks. And they do not hesitate to ask every guest, do you have any discounts with us?
Yep.
Mhm.
Everyone gets asked equally across the board.
You know
It's
what,
almost
Erica? I'm glad
scary.
you said that because at my recent visit to the Walt Disney World Resort, I had to ask continuously because no one asked. I'm like, "Are you
Yeah, no, they
accepting
don't.
any discounts today?" And they're like, "No." Most
Nope.
of them were no.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the last time I was home was 2024 and we went 2023, we've been in 2022, 2021, and but then the last that number of years, I actually got to the point where I was nervous to even tell them I was an annual pass holder because I got tired of the attitude I was getting from behind the counter, which was rolling of the eyes or their heads just, as if I were acting like an entitled, rude person, and I wasn't. I mean, I've had family work for this company. I know how to conduct myself,
Right.
in a Disney fashion to these people, and even try to elevate their days a little bit by, hey, how's your day going? Oh, don't work too hard. And I've even tried that, and I've gotten eye rolls, and so I got to the point where I just kind of didn't really use my discount, and I would use the mobile pay because I don't want to deal with the attitude.
Mhm. Man, by the way, look at this. Theme Park Wizard says here in the chat that Universal Studios Hollywood gives 2 pass holder after hours parties per year with free parking.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
Disney's
I don't think
never
Universal
done
Orlando
that.
does that. They do have some pass holder stuff, but I don't think they do like after hours parties for free.
I don't think so. I don't remember hearing anything like that. And those AP parties at Universal Studios Hollywood are actually pretty decent, and it comes with a plethora of discounts as well, along with discounts for like and depending on your, I guess, tier level, of course. I think it's like a free day at like Halloween Horror Nights, for example, or at least discounts for that, discounts for FanFest nights and so forth. So there's a lot of great perks that come along with that. Free parking is a huge one, especially in the LA area where you're driving everywhere. It's just, unfortunately, Disney has had more of a one-sided relationship when it comes to pass holders in recent years, and especially at Disneyland, where I would say it's arguably a hostile relationship because, please.
No. I'm just saying the annual pass holders, the only discount we have for, you get a discount on your after hour ticket at events and special events and things like that, but they've never given anything for free after hours for any annual pass holders at Disneyland or Disney World. What I was going to say. At least Universal is actually giving you a ticket to Halloween Horror Nights. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
So if you get the top tier annual pass at Universal Orlando, you actually get not only one free Halloween Horror Nights pass per year, but you also get free valet parking at the resort.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's a cool
phenomenal.
Perk.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, because that could be like $75 in some cases right there. But no, I mean, especially Disneyland where you have this reservation system and they're so very, very strict. I know a lot of people were complaining about December and how, for the length of time that the holiday decorations were up, there were almost no dates available that people could actually get because there are so many annual passes on the system and so many people were reserving for those days, and they only split those buckets up accordingly for pass holders while they reserve the rest for ticket holders. So it was just becoming this thing where people couldn't even get in, even if they wanted to, even if they had the time. It just wouldn't happen. And so, and again, if you don't show up for 3 of those reservations, you can't make another reservation for, I believe, thought it was 30 days, 60 days, maybe even 90 days.
Like at Walt Disney World, they don't have that. Like you can
Right.
make a reservation and not show up for it, and it's not the end of the world. Nobody really cares.
Yeah.
But at Disney, that is nuts.
That is crazy.
It's crazy
Yeah, they'll
because
punish you.
they'll punish you, and for the length of time that you can't make a reservation, you are still paying on that pass.
Of
You're
course,
paying on a pass you yourself cannot use.
That's insane.
wild.
Not
Completely
nice.
wild. And by the way, this clip you're seeing right here on the screen is proof of why they need more annual pass holders. Over there.
I did want to let someone in the chat know that you can get discounts on merchandise in selective stores in the theme parks and at Disney Springs. I did want to mention that. I mean, you get Marvin when you get your popcorn bucket. I think they give you what, like I forget how much we paid for Scar. We just got him. It was not.
I didn't know there was a Scar popcorn bucket.
Yeah, it's at Animal Kingdom. It's amazing.
Hmm.
It's really cool. His eyes light up and everything. But I think we did get our a discount with the annual. My daughter's an annual pass holder, so we were able to get a discount. So yeah, just to answer your question, there is a discount on merchandise and food, but it's only at selected places. And like Erica said, that's without the eye rolling.
Right.
So.
Right. Well, guys, if you are planning on getting an annual pass for Walt Disney World, just remember that it's not as cheap as it may appear. All right, guys. I don't believe any super chats have come in, but I did want to highlight a few things here. WW Pro signing off saying new article up on that Park Place website covering the strange way that Bob Iger has been sent packing. Check it out after the live stream. Yeah, check that out, guys. Pro wrote it. It's up on the site right now. It's should be a good read because it is very strange. The mainstream media is not telling you the real story about that. They are glossing over this. Up until just a few short months ago, that we believed that Bob Iger was staying for the rest of this year, and it's something strange. And then, of course, Texas 8412 says, "Is that really Pro or is it Lauren?" And Lauren responds, "That's really." It was before, guys, when we thought Pro was saying boo and hiss, it was actually Lauren in disguise. So.
In a world in which franchises are being broken every day, only one man, cloned, can save the day. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll wipe smog from your eyes. Join Lorne Connor as he takes on an epic quest. It's Lord of the Rings.
One sword to guide me, one heart to bind me.
All I have to do is drop it at a time now, Frodo Lord. My fingers don't want to let go.
Oh, gosh, I love that.
Shout out to Lauren. We watched all the Star Wars films finally. In the order he gave it, the way he told us to watch it, we loved it. It was great. So shout out
Which
to
way
Lauren.
did he tell you to watch it?
He told us to watch episode 4 and 5 first, and then the rest I have written down because I don't remember them. It's not like, with Harry Potter movies, I can do it front and back. He said start with episodes 4 and 5, and then we did Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so he made you do machete order.
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but we did it, and it was great.
So machete order is a style of watching the Star Wars movies where you watch the first 2 movies up until the I am your father reveal, and then you flash back to see how Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader, and then you finish off with
it was very satisfying.
The redemption.
Yeah, it's a good way to watch it. Though machete order, actually, that is kind of a bigger machete order there because machete order typically skips episode 1. So, but I'm glad you kept episode 1 because I don't agree with getting rid of episode 1.
It was
Flying Blind and Rocket Cycle for $5 says, did Disney's top tier annual pass for 2 years stop renewing when I stopped going? Yeah, not much in the way of perks. I agree. Rover Boy 006, remember for 23 months. Oh, wow. 1 more month to 2 years. Do we know who is taking over the parks from tomorrow? We do not know yet. We have theorized but we do not have anything definitive yet regarding that. So
The last time we didn't know who was taking over for the parks until 3 months later after Bob Chapek took the top gig, and that was
Wow.
an immediate handover of power from Bob Iger to Bob Chapek. It was effective immediately. This is no longer that case, so we might not know for a little bit who's replacing him.
yes, and then Lauren is confirming 451-236.
Listen, just to hear him, and he actually gave us like insight, like the gentleman that voiced Grover from the Muppets. I had a feeling that the puppetry from Jim Henson was involved in the beginning films, and I was blown away by that. I have such a respect for the Star Wars films because I grew up, the Muppets raised me. So I was like, wait a minute, this guy sounds familiar. And I kept asking him questions. He was like, yes, that is correct. Yes, those are actual puppetry. And I was like, whoa. And then he explained how it goes over to CGI. And I was like I was just on a roller coaster ride. It was excellent.
Yep. So yeah, it's not quite Machete Order. It is Dark Lorn of the Sith Order.
Dark Lord.
Dark Lord. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm sure Pro is already firing up Sora to make Dark Lorn of the Sith.
Oh, yeah.
That's got going now.
All right, guys, but we have got to move on to our next scoop because sometimes people at Universal theme parks get really excited, maybe a little too excited.
There we go. One more for the top. Triple decker, just how you like it.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Wolf.
You enjoy it.
We will.
One Universal guest recently showed a lot more than his enthusiasm for the Universal theme parks at Universal Hollywood. Yes, video shows a man taking off his clothes during the Universal Studios tram tour, and we're going to, for some reason, talk about that today on That Park Place. Can you guys tell that I don't curate these stories? Because I can't believe we're discussing this, but we are apparently discussing this. Some guy dropped trow in the middle of Universal, and now we're going to bring you all the action. Not all the action, guys. So video, this is from KTLA 5 in Los Angeles. Video shows a man appearing to undress at Universal Studios on Saturday, turning a tram tour traumatic for some visitors. KTLA viewer named Gabriel submitted multiple angles of the incident and said that the guest appeared to be under the influence, I hope so, and began to cause a disturbance, including exiting the vehicle and removing his shirt during the backlot tour of the theme park. Many of the guests aboard the tram were seen recording the bizarre incident for themselves. Quote, "He began to roll on the floor and taunt employees from the side of the track," Gabriel said. He then returned to the vehicle, and that's when he began to further disrobe in front of more than 150 guests, including women and children. According to Gabriel, it took park security 15 minutes to arrive and allow the remaining guests to be removed from the scene. So here we see some photos here. This is the guy apparently, looking like he's coming out of the shower with no shirt on. There he is. And he's just like, hello, world. And there he is,
So
getting
random.
by security. But yeah.
Oh.
So they said, we received apologies from the driver and the hosts of the experience, and I believe that although they did their best to handle the situation, procedures should definitely be reevaluated. He said it should not have been allowed to escalate to that level of intensity. Guests were also given express lane passes for their entire party, Gabriel said. Oh boy, how did you get on the Harry Potter ride so fast, Jimmy? Well, a guy dropped trow in front of me. It's safe to say that this was not a tram-tastic day at Universal Studios, he concluded, referring to the tram tour's motto. And let's leave the puns to the professionals, because it seemed like a tram-tastic tram. The Universal Tram Tour. Or maybe I should leave it to the professionals too. But it was not immediately clear whether the man would face criminal charges or be banned from the park. I would hope he's banned from the park at the very least. KTLA reached out to Universal Studios officials for comment on the matter, but did not immediately receive a response. Guys, what?
Is he mentally disturbed or ill? I'm wondering if this is a person with like a disorder and their caretaker or caregiver wasn't present. I mean, there's no other explanation for that. You got to be really sick. I don't know. That's just my take.
So I do have clean video. Doesn't show anything, which is very good.
Okay.
If you want to
yes,
share that. Look, the studio tour, Universal Studio Tour, has had some issues in its most recent past. And it's really unfortunate, too, because the studio tour at Universal really, I think it's what sets Universal Studios Hollywood really apart from, like, Universal Orlando, for example. Orlando is great for its rides, its attractions, its shows, really great stuff right there. And there's certainly more to do. But Universal Studios Hollywood keeps you connected to the fact that this is an operating film studio, and there are productions going on there all the time. Now, this area in which the studio tour is stopped right here, this is all private property, folks, on the back lot. So even if you disembark from the vehicle for any reason, you could be trespassed because, well, that is wholly separate from your theme park admission right there. So that's no good. But disrobing in front of all these guests, especially, with 150 onlookers looking on with small children, no good. Not at all. And that's most unfortunate. This comes after a big accident that occurred actually on Universal Studios tour where multiple people were injured, and they've actually adjusted the entire tram route because of that accident right there. That's no good. And a lot of people are wondering what the future of the studio tour is like, especially given these recent issues.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't. Look at the way look at the way he like sassily takes his shirt off. Like he's like, "Hey, world."
Yeah. Something went wrong.
Yeah,
he got some bad news on the tram. Maybe his girlfriend left him or something, and he's like, "You know what? To heck with everyone today.
I'm going to show you all what his
girlfriend." Okay.
Or
what she was
somebody
missing,
disrupting him.
I knew it. I knew it was Jay. He's tripping Winnie the Pooh in one park, and then he's streaking in front of the trams in the other park. I knew it.
Dang it, drunk 3PO, man.
Yes, folks, we only have high-class stuff on this show.
Oh my gosh.
He says, I was hot, not according to the reviews that I heard from the people that were on the tram, Jay.
Don't know.
Instead of off with his head, they were chanting on with his shirt.
Oh, that's so good.
I hope he gets the care and mental help he needs, if that's the case.
I don't know, man. So is that the priority pass they got to get on the rides?
Yes, yeah, that was the priority pass they got. I would think that this would have taken just a little bit more time. And remember, the studio tour itself is anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes in length. It's already a lengthy experience, and so to be backed up with this kind of behavior right there, no good for anybody involved. And here's the other thing too: there are other trams waiting to go through some of these areas, so they had to be either rerouted or maybe you have a backup there. So it's very disruptive to guest operations, or I should say, theme park operations and so forth. So it's just you just don't like to see this, and there have been a number of times. I think we covered a story on That Park Place very recently, actually, about two people. They jumped off and they went running into the woods, and then they were actually arrested because, like I was saying before, private property and all. It's no good. This is a very unique experience. I want it to stay around for years to come, but given Universal's deep priority of the studio tour versus other experiences in Universal Studios Hollywood, not good.
Now, the studio tour, Vash, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was how it all started for Universal as far as attractions go, right?
Yeah, 1964 it starts out really as the studio tour. There really is no theme park to speak of. It was really, hey, let's go ahead and invite guests to tour our sets and backlot and so forth. That really goes back to the 1920s, actually, where this was predating the talkies, when they used to have guests come into the backlot actually on foot, and they would actually see productions take place right in front of them. This is before the sound era, so you can kind of do stuff like that. I think they used to get like a carton of eggs and everything. It's weird, but then that went away for a period of time after sound film was introduced and sound stages were built. But ever since the 1960s, they have had a studio tour experience that predates the theme park by a number of years. And Universal Studios Florida was kind of the first time that they really got into like ride vehicles and ride vehicle driven experiences, because previously the studio tour would just take you through like a King Kong experience, and that was your ride vehicle, and they would call them pull throughs. And so when you enter into the was it ride vehicle era of Universal, they actually got to some hot water initially because they had never done something like that before, especially at scale. And Universal Studios Florida had a number of problems in its early years. Fortunately, Universal has figured that out, but Studio Tour is kind of a product of a bygone era, sadly.
Now, Vash, question for you: is this like just a regular attraction that is included in your pass at Universal
Yes,
Hollywood?
it is.
Okay, so it's not separately ticketed.
It is not, but there have been discussions as to whether or not this might be separated out, because we have seen a series of surveys that have actually asked the question to guests. Okay, would you pay extra for a studio tour separate from theme park admission? Universal hasn't actually undertaken that effort to separate this out, but a lot of people are concerned that maybe the studio tour might not be included with your park admission at some point. We also know too that Universal is wanting to expand the theme park operation, and that's going to bleed into more areas of the back lot. So as that happens, does the studio tour remain relevant, remain as long as an experience as it is? Do they keep investing in it on a regular basis? All these things are up in the air right now, and it has a lot of people, especially in the Universal side of things, talking about this because it's so beloved.
Yeah. I don't know, like, what I mean. So I have seen people do heinous things in the parks, mostly at Disney. But like, what do you do in a situation like this? Because he does basically have a captive audience here, Vash.
Mm-hmm.
Erica,
yeah,
what do you think you would do, or like your husband would do, if you're on this thing and this guy starts doing this stuff?
I mean, as a guest, you just kind of like, okay, this is really happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have a kid, that's disturbing, because how do you distract your child from like the obvious chaos? How do you distract
It's
their
kids
eyes?
these days. They're not looking up from those dang iPads. Am I right? Parents?
Yeah. In that moment, you would hand your kid the phone, I guess, and be like, "Oh, play a game. Go have fun."
Look, screen time.
I will say, if this happened at Disney, they would be revisiting their procedures and safety protocols, etc., and that manual would be completely rewritten from back to front, just based off one incident. That's all it takes, is one incident, and then those poor technical writers have to rehaul everything.
Anybody else want to weigh in on this situation?
I mean, it's unfortunate that people come in all over the world and want to have an experience on this type of attraction, and to see that kind of disturbance. But there are a lot of people going through so many things, and we just have to remember that not everybody knows how to follow the rules, and maybe this guy got some really bad news while he was on this attraction. Doesn't give him any right to get off and take off his clothes and be upset, like, whatever, or I don't know. I just think that in a world that we're living in today, we just have to be a little bit more sensitive to one another, if that makes any sense. I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me or not, but my heart goes out to him. I hope he gets the care he needs, and
of course,
things work out better for him.
I think there's really value in that. And I hope he does get the help he needs. I would just say, just because it's a studio tour story, we have had the erosion. We've seen the erosion of studio-driven parks, right? Especially at Disney Hollywood Studios. It used to have a studio tour back in the day. No longer the case, obviously. And so I do hope Universal Studios maintains this heritage and maintains this connection as this connective tissue to the backlot and to film production, because these parks just are no longer around. And as we've moved to a ride the movies or immerse yourself in the worlds of these movies, we've kind of walked away from the production of films. And I just would hope that the studio tour finds some place to exist in the future for Universal Studios Hollywood Resort, possibly.
For sure. But guys, in the meantime, just know, if you're going on the Universal tour, no shoes, no shirt, no pants, no service. We've been doing this show one day too long. Oh man, that was an interesting one, guys. That's
I still think he got bad news I don't know the way he did it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So a couple super chats have come in. Cohen Film for $5. You're supposed to keep your hands and arms in the tram at all times.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Flying blind on a rocket cycle says, well, football season is over and it's too cold to streak at most open sporting events. So Universal, here I come.
I guess.
And the Flying blind on a rocket cycle also says, correction, football season is mostly over. Yeah, because the Super Bowl is this weekend, correct?
Oh, yes. It's
Yeah.
on Sunday night.
Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
This Sunday night.
The big game.
Sorry. I thought you said Monday. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I thought you said Monday too. It's like, what?
Gotcha.
No, Sunday night.
Oh, my goodness.
Our good friend Bad Bunny's performing. You guys don't want to miss that.
No, thank you.
I was being sarcastic.
I think my
Just not as good as Jonas.
TV's going to be on
being
mute
sarcastic.
after.
You could always watch the what do you call it? The Turning Point USA halftime show.
Oh,
Okay, where is that being aired? I can't find any information on that.
I don't know. You know what? I think I'm going to look into it and maybe do an article on the websites this week about it because I think people are going to be looking for that. So
Damn.
I
not a bad
will
idea.
try to find that for you, Erica. But Flying Blind on a rocket cycle, I truly appreciate all the support today. You're a great supporter of the channel and of the organization in general, and we appreciate you. Unfortunately, I don't think I have your clip here on the back end, unless it is on the other one randomly. Nope, it is not. So here's Bob Iger talking about heat.
It was measuring attendance at Disney World on July 4th, which didn't really factor in temperature, which is about 100 degrees and 99% humidity on that day.
We're thinking of rushing it so that we can get it out in time for Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Juneteenth.
We're thinking of making a big holiday push.
Packing Protons for $2 says, don't look, Ethel. Dang it.
Is that from I Love Lucy? Or something else? Because I'm like, Ethel's from I Love Lucy, no?
I think it's just a general older couple riding the tram. Fred Mertz wouldn't have cared if Ethel looked.
Oh, I love that show. That's a good show.
It's funny when you actually look at like the stories behind the scenes from I Love Lucy, because apparently Vivian Vance and the guy who played Fred, I don't remember his name, they did not get along.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Vivian Vance really didn't like being cast as like the frumpy neighbor. Like she wanted to be pretty and you know, like, and so she didn't think that, she thought that giving her like an old man husband was like not great for her character.
Well, that friction worked out because that show was great.
William Frawley, that was it. William Frawley and Vivian Vance. All right, guys. It's time to move on because well, we all remember what Disney was like during COVID, but yeah, it looks like there might be another outbreak happening in a Disney park sometime soon.
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park.
Are you safe in Disney parks, folks? As a measles outbreak has been reported, well, not an outbreak, a measles exposure has been reported at Disneyland in California. Health officials have issued a warning about it, and we're going to talk about it today on That Park Place. Yeah, guys, measles making a comeback. You know, people thought it was down and out, but measles was like, nah, man, like I'm just getting started. So we saw recently a confirmed case of measles was linked to a recent visit to Disneyland, prompting Orange County health officials to issue a public warning and urge guests to check their vaccination statuses. According to a press release issued January 31st, the OC Healthcare Agency confirmed that an international traveler who arrived in Los Angeles airport later visited multiple locations at the Disneyland Resort while infectious. The case was reported to Orange County by both the Department of Public Health and the Los Angeles Department of Public Health. I'm sorry, the California Department of Public Health and the Los Angeles Department of Public Health. It's a lot of departments of public health there. Health officials say individuals who were present at Disneyland during the specific time windows may be at risk of exposure. Now, the OC Healthcare Agency identified the following locations and times associated with the measles: Goofy's Kitchen at the Disneyland Hotel at 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and Disneyland Park and California Adventure from 12:30 p.m. to park closing. Now, Vash, that is a large amount of space over a large amount of time where people could have been exposure. And this was on Wednesday, January the 28th. This is like, but a measles exposure in one of these parks, that's kind of a big deal, isn't it?
It's a very big deal because you're talking about you're talking about parks that are they can very well hold like 60,000 guests, I think, at Disneyland, maybe topping out at 40,000 at Disney California Adventure right across the way there at Disneyland Resort. That's 100,000 people right there, not even including Downtown Disney, which, by the way, changed its logo for like a third time in the last 20 years. Very weird. But no, I mean, this is kind of a serious deal right here, and we have had previous measles exposures before at this specific theme park, and for similar circumstances, somebody comes in international, and the CDC tracks them down. It's like, uh-oh, they went to Disneyland. That's no good.
Oh, did Vash just freeze?
Uh-oh. The Elsa winter storm got to Vash.
It was the measles. The measles shut him down.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
There you are.
No.
You're back now.
Well, there you go. It's very interesting when looking at the history of this kind of stuff because, well, in this area of California, there have been some who have said, let's forego the injections, which, it's obviously people have a obviously right to do, and it's not me to sway either way. That's not really the purpose of the story. But given that the vaccination rates in this area are maybe below the national average in some cases, right there, well, that obviously increases the likelihood of contagion and so forth. So it's definitely a serious deal. Measles is spread very, very, very easily, and I just hope everybody is okay. And
measles, from what I understand, Vash, actually stays in an area after the infected has already left.
Yes, yeah. It can stay there for a bit, especially in, elevators are one of the worst places, right, for something like that, as you can probably imagine. And, well, if you're in a queue for a period of time, that could be a bad thing as well. And there are certainly small enclosed spaces within various areas of the Disneyland Resort. I can think of like Indiana Jones's queue, for example, Roger Rabbit's queue, even Rise of Resistance, and so forth. Or maybe you're in the Star Speeder 3000, enjoying your time on Star Tours. That could be kind of an issue too, where things can linger and so forth. So, the hope is that you have a vaccination rate above a certain threshold in which this disease is not allowed to spread through contact with others. But unfortunately, in the Southern California area, that might not be the case, depending on the time of day and who's actually visiting and so forth. So it's certainly a big concern, and this is not the first time, like I was saying before, that a measles outbreak has been traced back to the Disneyland Resort, and they've also had Legionnaire's disease as part of this theme park right there. I believe the park was actually sued over that right there. So it's just one of the things when you're visiting a theme park you have to take into consideration. You are going to be with many other people. Some of those, maybe carrying something that you don't want them to carry.
Hence, this is why Disney should allow the immune compromised folks that are applying for DAS that cannot wait in long queues or be in crowded spaces to have a boarding area so that they can just, get on the ride vehicle and go about their day. Because the longer they stay in these enclosed areas, the more of an exposure, a threat to their condition. And this is very disturbing for me to hear these kind of stories. I apologize, whoever was going to.
No, I think you're bringing up a great point, MJ.
You do, and it's so one thing to point out is that the person that was that spread the measles in Disneyland was apparently an international traveler, so it wasn't an American. So that's one thing.
Right.
But a lot of people always push back on me when they hear that I don't like the monorail, or I don't like the really crowded times of being so close to people. I don't like, that Comic-Con, shoulder to shoulder experience. And they're like, oh yeah, whatever, man. I'm just like, no, dude, you don't understand. This is a petri dish you're walking around in. COVID Disney was wonderful. Like, I know it was terrible at the same time, but like nobody near me. I could swing my arms with, like people. I was allowed to tell people to get away from me. It was, that was like my paradise. But
yeah, I mean, like the reduction in guests as mandated by COVID protocols, there was something to be said about that. I didn't personally enjoy the diminishment of certain experiences like Rise of the Resistance with that horrible plexiglass, or even having to wear a mask all the time.
I'm just making a joke, but yeah.
Oh, sure. And look, I mean, like you said, Marvin, these places kind of are petri dishes, right? When you're, putting yourself into ride vehicles after constant amounts of rotation, obviously, there are some germs there. I'm excluding the measles because that's relatively rare, but still, I mean, you just never know. And I would argue, to kind of MJ's point right there, if you are sensitive to airborne viruses and so forth, maybe the parks, I don't know, you have to take additional precautions versus somebody who might have a good immune system. But even if you do, I would recommend that your immune system be in top tier health right there, because you might interact with anywhere between 60 to 80 to 100,000 people, just depending on what you do and how long you stay.
Yeah, very interesting. Erica, I mean, how do you feel about, the spread of germs and stuff like that in these places? Is there anything you think that people could do to limit their exposure? Are you concerned about something like that? Are you a germaphobe like me?
No, not really. I mean, hand sanitizer, wash your hands frequently. Be careful what you touch or the what end of what you're touching for like a fork or a spoon, for example. Just be vigilant and your measles. It's one of those like childhood, things. Most people are vaccinated for that when they're infants, or at the very least, come by the time you're a toddler. So that just tells me it was somebody who wasn't vaccinated. And I guess there's no requirements in coming into the United States. They don't have to be vaccinated for that. So they were granted entry. And I mean, but that's anywhere you go, anywhere you travel to
There's always
internationally.
a risk of contamination in any populated area.
It just is, yeah.
You just have to be vigilant and aware, and be cognitive of what you have been vaccinated for and not, and know your own risks,
And I would say this too: the risks are, especially with a communicable disease like the measles, it's relatively low. I mean, a lot of people have been reporting that, that in at least Western societies and so forth, it's just the occurrence of that is just low in general. So I'm not saying that you don't have to worry about anything. I'm just saying though is that the chances of this are low, which is good. And I think anybody visiting this resort, I don't think they should have to worry about any after effects and so forth. But but when you go to the parks, for example, right, and you're in those ride vehicles and you're holding on those handrails and everything like that, before you eat, wash your hands. That's like that is probably the best advice I can.
Yeah, that's a rule of thumb. Yeah.
Because been touching so many surfaces and so forth.
Yeah, my wife is the queen of hand sanitizer. Like if she sees me like put my hand on like a railing as we're going down the stairs, she's just like hand sanitizer.
That's like me with my kids. I have hand sanitizers and I'm probably a psychopath, but because of our circumstances, you just have to make provisions. Bring hand sanitizer, and they do sell them even at the Dollar General, Dollar Tree. Get the Clorox disinfecting wipes, and just be conscious of your surroundings, because obviously, if you are traveling with someone with an immune compromised system, and there are outbreaks in all of these theme parks all over the world, anywhere where there's a crowd, an arena, you need to be precautious. But specifically talking about the Disney parks, Universal parks, you can actually request a table away from most people. You can request things. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you can take like, hey, can we have our own ride vehicle? We are sensitive. We haven't said, talk to the cast members. Some will be very accommodating. Sometimes it might not happen, but most of the time they are accommodating, and they will listen to you, and they will try to help you as much as possible. Like, hey, look, we have a senior with an immune compromise, or a child with an immune compromise, or me, or whatever, whoever. Just, do as much research as you can. And there are places and things that you can sit at and do ride experiences and the shows. You don't have to sit next, let the cast member know we need to sit away from everyone. We have someone in our party with a very compromised immune system. You never know. They might be able to put you somewhere else. You just have to talk, communicate, bring the hand sanitizer, bring the Clorox disinfecting wipes, and just do your part. That's it.
Remember, guys, other people are filthy and full of diseases. Remember that on your next vacation. There, that's how I decided to leave.
Wait, what is the percentage of people that wash their hands after using the restroom? Does anyone have that statistic? There is like a number. It's disgustingly high. The amount of people that go into a restroom do not wash their hands after using the restroom.
I would say at Disneyland Resorts, probably 7 of 10, 8 of 10. There's always, 1 or 2.
Do or don't?
That do not wash their hands after. Oh.
That do wash their hands. Sorry, I should clarify. 1 of 10, 2 of 10 people don't. And
I was like, there better not be 8 out of 10 people walking around Disneyland with clean hands.
No. It's pretty decent. I have seen, but again though, I mean you are kind of relying on others in that instance right there. Just before you chow down and so forth, just take a second, wash your hands before you're good to go. Go ahead.
Have I ever told you guys my public restroom star scoring system?
No.
So
yeah, you did a long time ago.
It's out of 5 stars, and it's 1 star for each thing I don't have to touch. Do you not have a door that I have to touch? 1 star. Do I not have to touch the flusher? 1 star. Do I not have to touch the sink? Do I not have to touch the soap dispenser? Do I not have to touch the paper towel situation? That's a 5-star bathroom right there. Now, if there's only a hand dryer, that is minus half a star because those just blow bacteria around. But you also get half a star if it's secluded and like empty. There are bathrooms that I know of in Walt Disney World that are so secluded that no one knows about, that no one's ever in, and I will not divulge them on this show because too many people listen.
I don't blame you.
There's a group on Instagram that specifically cater to that kind of content of finding like the best restrooms in theme parks. That's like their thing. I forget the name of it, but it's funny. And they even show you like themed restrooms. It's crazy. I'm like, and they have a lot of followers.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's a big consideration.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's gross.
All right, we got some super chats to get to. Wow, the crazy bear for $2 is Harry Sisson. Oh my God, hot guy. Oh, okay. Thank you, Wild and Crazy Bear, formerly known as XJ Cherokee Bear. Yep. Albertus Magnus for $5. Can I assume that Disneyland Resort has been properly cleaned since last Wednesday? I'm going Sunday to Tuesday for my 70th birthday. Need I worry? I would assume it has been properly scrubbed down.
Yeah, I mean they wiped down quite a bit of surfaces and
any measles that were in there got breathed up by everybody already. Don't worry about it.
It's fantastic, Robert. Thank you so much for that. It really sets me at ease right there.
Their problem, not yours. You have to worry about whatever's coming in while you're there. So,
true.
Not what's already been there. Packing protons for $5. More not quite fitting breaking news. President Trump to sign executive order eliminating mail-in ballots and voting machines for the 2026 election. Yep, that's going to get shot down in the courts. Hawaii Dragon Star for $10. Dangerous fact: measles been found to damage an immune system such that it forgets how to counter diseases diseases you already had. So you can get diseases you were previously immune to. Oh my gosh. If I got that and then because of that I could get the chicken pox again, I would be so pissed.
That's really messed up.
It's no good.
No.
It's no good.
No.
Oh, good.
And these people that are like, we covered these last stories the past couple months about children with cancer or having like a transplant and they have a compromised immune system, and the fact that Disney would not help them. It's just disheartening. And then you hear this kind of story. It's like they have the right, just like everyone else. What do you want them to do? Stay at home and watch these characters on the television screen? Why can't they go to the park and enjoy themselves and hug Winnie the Pooh and have breakfast with Mickey and Minnie?
Other people are filthy and full of germs. Just remember that. It's just have that on a t-shirt, guys. Remember it. Make it your mantra. Think it as you walk through the parks. Just you get on the monorail, just remember to yourself, other people are filthy and full of germs. Just keep saying it to yourself. You'll be okay. Packing Protons, tram operator says, sit down, just sit down and have fun.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Please sit down. Sit down, just have fun. Thank you.
That's awesome. I love that.
That was really cool, Vash.
That was awesome. I felt like I was on a ride for a second. Hold on a second.
So there you go.
Great.
Over here looking at my pad. Like, which one is that? What color?
Yeah.
Megaphone. Megaphone is what you're looking
That's
for.
great.
Oh my goodness. All right. We've got one more story to get to here before we end for the day, guys. It's been a bit of a longer episode than usual. But we've had a lot to talk about. So let's get to our grand finale of the evening. Actually, you know what? It would help if I do have it queued up. Never mind. Here we go.
I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
Josh D'Amaro, the new incoming CEO of the Walt Disney Company, sat down with Bob Iger for a special interview where the two talked about the future of the company, including things like Dana Walden, AI, and where things are going. The only problem, this was on Disney-owned ABC, and it was about as real as a $3 bill. Let's talk about it today on That Park Place. Guys, this is one of the most artificial things I've ever seen. If they had actually sat down with a news organization that might have asked them a tough question, that might have been one thing, but this was Disney-owned ABC asking the Disney CEO and the next Disney CEO Disney-approved questions. It was ridiculous. It was just like this is basically a video press release in a sense.
Oh, absolutely. And I was kind of disappointed to see it because previously, when Bob Iger made the announcement that Bob Chapek was going to be taking over, it was Bob Iger, it was Bob Chapek sitting in front of a reporter from CNBC, and it was broadcast on their network. And so it was a little bit more, a little less biased, maybe, a little bit less softball and so forth. Here, it was almost like you might as well skip it.
The interview aired last night on ABC News and covered the leadership transition, tomorrow's approach to risk-taking, and Disney's future in artificial intelligence. Let's see what they said. As far as Disney's cultural position, when asked what the next CEO needs to do to ensure Disney remains part of American life, Iger emphasized it's understanding the company's unique position. Quote, Disney is not just another company. Disney really is a cultural institution that has touched hundreds of millions of people for over 100 years. Having that appreciation, knowing the place Disney occupies in people's lives, I think it's essential to anyone occupying this position. All right, he said absolutely nothing there. That was absolute twaddle speak. D'Amaro then said his 27 years at Disney, which is longer than than a lot of people have been there, said have prepared him for balancing legacy and innovation. He says, I spent a lot of time in our beloved parks that hundreds of millions of people enjoy every year, and I see firsthand the importance of the brand, what Disney means to them, what it means to these families. When you feel that you understand the legacy of this place and the fact that you need to keep pushing forward and being innovative, I think I'm ready for that challenge. Okay, so that answer was also a load of baloney, but it was prettier baloney than what Bob Iger just said. Right?
Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, as far as risk-taking, the interview drew parallels between Walt Disney's risk-taking when building Disneyland and Iger's buying things.
This is hilarious. This is some good stuff here. Marvin, please.
Bob's a big risk taker. I'm a big risk taker, and that's been true my whole life. with how I've approached growing as an individual to how I've approached the business world. He pointed to Disney's recent announcement of a new theme park in Abu Dhabi as an example. That's not a risk. They're buying it from you.
That's the one he brings up. I mean, come on.
Josh. That we're taking. We're letting this company license and pay us millions upon millions of dollars for this and spending no money on it.
That's no risk. And by the way, he wants to say, oh, we did that quickly. I mean, those ideas, from what we understand, have been brewing since 2017, 2018. That was not necessarily quick in terms of turnaround, or at least maybe not as quick as it probably should have been, given that Morale is basically giving Disney a blank check to produce them a theme park in the middle of Abu Dhabi.
He says, just several months ago, we announced a massive expansion in a new part of the world in Abu Dhabi. We did that quickly. We did it ambitiously. We knew there was a new part of the world to serve. This is the first new theme park in 15 years for Disney. When did Shanghai open?
Shanghai opens in
2013?
2016.
Oh, 2016.
So what is he talking about?
I don't know. I mean, I remember back when Shanghai opened, they really wanted to highlight, no, this is not China as we know it, with Hong Kong opening in 2005. No, this is mainland China, completely different and so forth. Now it's like, well, no, this is first of its kind in this different part of the world and so forth. I have no idea what he's talking about right here. If you know your Disney history, you know that Disney has been opening theme parks for on a regular cadence for a period of time now.
How, Josh? You are on the friendliest platform you could possibly be on, and you still managed to say something completely stupid that nobody caught.
And Dreamer's Point is the antithesis of the idea that Walt had this incredible optimism and hope for the future, that if we all work together and we all dream together, we could build the impossible and make it our reality.
What?
Chef's kiss on that.
Oh.
It's amazing.
I'm like, I know, I was here. Like, I lived here at the time when Shanghai opened, because I remember watching it in my first apartment down here, watching the thing. And I'm like, I haven't been here for 15 years. Like, we also discussed the strategic importance of the Middle East. They're spending a lot of time on this sale of a license to billionaires in the Middle East.
Yeah, well, and now you know what got Josh DiMauro the top spot here, as we predicted when it happened.
So this part of the world represents a portion that is young, that is huge. In fact, within a 4-hour flight radius of Abu Dhabi, a third of the world's population is there. I'm sorry, a population, like, part of the world is a population that is young. I mean, like, are they younger than other populations of the world? It seems like another stupid thing.
I know they have a different way of living and another lifestyle that's probably a lot healthier than us over here, but I don't know.
Iger said he has long considered the Middle East for Disney expansion. When he returned as CEO, he and DiMauro moved quickly on the opportunity. We stood on that same property, and you look at the water, and you look at the sand, and you look at the place you're in, and you dream big ambition, and you think, well, we can do this. He is not good at talking.
No.
Neither of them are.
Bob Iger is a buffoon. He really is. Like,
I love how Matthew Muir kind of sucked up to Bob Iger during this whole segment. Oh, you see those photos of you out there, and they make references to handcrafted. Oh, it's a new Walt. He's walking there with his white little shoes there on the beach, and it's just like Walt walking those orange groves back in 1954, right before Disneyland. It's like, right? Oh, you kidding, pal?
Yeah, and by the way, he was told to say that. 100%
of course
say that, because that was the point of that thing. He wanted his Walt Disney LARPing photo shoot. They moved on to AI. Iger explained why DiMauro's view of technology made him the right choice. One of the reasons Josh was chosen for this position is I've observed him over the years that we've worked together in the shower in my as somebody that views technology as an opportunity that's not a threat. When you look at the history of human beings, no generation of human being has ever been able to stand in the way of technological advance. Again, Bob Iger saying nothing. He then emphasized that human creativity remains central despite AI advancements. The reason this company is so special is because of how creative we are. I love how he put himself into that. You are not creative, Bob. And human beings that are generating that creativity. In my mind, that never gets replaced. DiMauro said Disney's creative teams have embraced its AI tools AI, to Bob's point, is here, and it's something that we're embracing. You see, it supercharged these creatives in amazing ways. This is when the Walt Disney Company thrives, when technology intersects with brilliant people and creativity, and we're in that moment right now. Oh boy, guys.
I mean, this is really the question that the whole world wants to know, especially from these big corporations and companies, traditional media outlets, and so forth. Where do you find yourself within this AI world in 10 years? And I believe that's a question that was asked by the board to Josh D'Amaro. Apparently, they found his answer more convincing than Dana Walden. But I mean, that is a big question, right? Because especially with this investment that Disney has made into OpenAI for $1 billion, and the ability for them to use their characters for 3 years and so forth. This was the question being asked over and over and over again at that most recent earnings call by investors from financial institutions and so forth. It's like people want to know this answer, and I don't really know if Josh D'Amaro gave the best answer on this specific interview. That was softball.
So Dana Walden's new role, when asked about that, D'Amaro said she is an incredibly powerful executive. She's also stunning and brave. She's got years and years of experience in this space. She's exceptionally creative, really, Josh, because she's never done. We've not seen. Maybe there's a whole other Dana Walden that we just haven't seen yet because we've just looked at her body of work, which has never included a creative project. And she's a great human being. I think it's absolutely the right step to continue to push us in this next frontier. Yeah, I'm sure you thought that, Josh. Not the board.
This right here was sort of gaslighting. This right here was attempting to sell Dana Walden to the world and try to patch things up with D'Amaro after this competitive race that they both had right here. She's exceptionally creative, as Marvin beautifully pointed out right there. What has she created? Even the shows that she's brought to fruition via Hulu or ABC television and so forth, they really haven't been culturally defining shows. And I think Matt Bellamy pointed this out beautifully in his Buck article, talking about how Dana lost this race, talking about how you've got great stuff going on there at Paramount Plus with some of the stuff that. Yeah, with Sheridan, what he's brought to the table. You have like Stranger Things over at Netflix. You have really, there are reasons to subscribe to those platforms via their shows, via their content that simply hasn't been provided by a Dana Walden-led entertainment unit. It's just not the case. So, and by the way, she just does that. She doesn't really do movies. That's really Alan Bergman's territory. So I just want to know, why is she exceptionally creative? What makes her that way? This is gaslighting by Josh D'Amaro, I believe.
Yeah. So also transition timeline. Iger says, I'll be stepping down as CEO on March 18th. I'll be an employee of the company and an advisor through the end of the calendar year, and I will be available on call should anyone want advice from me. Yeah, the advice is Bob, what's the PIN number again to the credit card? Bob, should I buy this thing? Yes.
How many settings are on your shower head?
Yeah, exactly.
Can I use your shower?
Thing. When asked if the weight on his shoulders is lighter, Iger acknowledged the emotional challenge of stepping away. You can't just turn the switch off one day with something you've been so involved with. Yeah, we saw that the last time you tried to step away. I mean, it's such an important part of your life. But I'm just looking forward to quieter moments and quieter days and a little bit more room in my life. So my question is, if Iger can give advice and advise here, is Josh D'Amaro allowed to disregard that advice? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's the big question, right? Because we all know that he's not going to be the one solely in charge of what's going on here. He's going to have to entrust his CCO in the form of Dana Walden and what she wants to do. Remember, she's the president as well. And we do know that Dana Walden and Bob Iger were taking morning walks very regularly out there in Brentwood, California, in which they are neighbors, by the way. And she was part of the big ouster, the big, the palace coup, as they have called it, of Bob Chapek. They went to him to ask, what can we do? How can we get him out? And he says, well, you got to take your grievances to the board. They did. They eventually got him removed right there. So to me, I'm kind of you being on call is not necessarily a good thing for either person at the top spot here.
Part of me wonders, though, Vash, if it's a situation where it's okay, we'll oust Chapek and then I'll come back, and then in a couple of years you'll then be CEO. Was that the plan?
I mean, a lot of people felt I remember hearing at the time when Chapek was in the seat that he was simply an interim CEO so that he could be the hatchet man, do the things that no other CEO wanted to do, the things that weren't going to make you popular, the things that optically were going to look bad, and after those things were performed, Bob Iger just swoops back in. That was kind of a crazy, theory at that time, but that's exactly what happened. So whether or not you believe that was really the case or not, effectively, that is what took place. And this is why Alex Sherman on Twitter, by the way, he was congratulating Josh D'Amaro and also congratulated Bob Iger in 2028. Because, it's like, can this guy really let go? We've not seen that so far.
Yeah, it's very interesting. MJ, did anything said in this interview give you hope for the future of Disney? That things are going to change, that things are going to get better?
False hope. Yeah, but these guys, I don't trust any of them. They haven't delivered. They haven't done anything to woe me. So it's like, it's hard putting your faith and your trust into people that have pretty much deceived the fandom. It's not nice and kind what they've done. They could have made better decisions and better choices that would keep us, coming back. I mean, look, we all go back. There is a reason why we have our annual passes or our, Discovery Day tickets, because we have a love for these theme parks, but it's just really hard to see what the future holds with these people in charge. And it's scary to know who's going to be in charge of parks. I try to stay optimistic. I love the Walt Disney Company for what it was, and Walt's vision and what he believed in. It's dear to my heart. And it's really, really sad. I mean, this goes back to, a family loom. I mean, my parents and my grandparents, and, it's just a generational thing. We adore Walt's work. And if they cannot tap into the vision of Walt and what he intended and what he wants for the people he created, I mean, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. They have to remember those things. Just watching the documentary, the way Disneyland was built, these people need to sit down and watch that documentary. I highly doubt this Walden creature lady. Okay. I want to call her a Demogorgon, but I got to find a better way to put that with her name. But I really wonder if they actually watched the documentary.
Dana Gorgon.
Thank you. I knew you were creative. You would come up with something.
Unlike Dana Walden.
And it's like the way the park was built, the intentions, the creativity, the innovation, the out of the norm. That's what brought all of us and generations behind us to love this company. And they have to remember those things. They cannot just, slap something together and say, here you go, guys, look what we did for you. No, it's not that way. You guys are supposed to be the trendsetters. You're supposed to be laying out the landscape for other companies to be like, look what they did. Let's either try to do it better or let's copy that and do our own and do our own version of it. But these people are not. I don't have faith that they will do that, and that's what breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm. So. Erica, did anything said in this interview give you any kind of hope?
Oh, no, not at all. If anything, this whole thing with AI, I'm like, AI, you are so creatively bankrupt. AI couldn't even help you get out of a brown paper bag right now.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
No, this was, look, with it being on ABC, it's obvious that this was all scripted, that this was all, play acting. It was about as authentic as a get well card from The Undertaker. This was 100%, artificial. And we're going to see if the Walt Disney Company can become real again in all of our hearts and minds, or whether it's going to be as artificial as this interview. Did you like that? Authentic as a get well card from the Undertaker.
That was awesome.
I can't take
Not
credit
bad.
for that one. I stole it from somewhere else, but that's like a saying. Packing Protons for $2 says, none of you ever heard the song The Streak? That's where Don't Look Ethel comes from.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Right over my head. Take your word for it. And he said, for $5, I can go to MegaCon if I can get staff access and help out. No lines for autographs, less crowded. Yeah, MegaCon is going to be fun this year. I know a lot of us are going to be there. I'm waiting to hear about a couple things that I might be doing at MegaCon. I might be able to have booth access for some stuff. So, maybe we'll have that Park Place stream from MegaCon. Who knows? We'll see. I know a lot of folks from the Pro Show are going, a lot of folks from that Park Place, Geeks and Gamers. I think the entirety of the H-Cast will be there. Me, Culture, Nick, and Nate even. So it's gonna be a big convention. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Wildman of Yavin says, yeah, 4-hour flight, but how much of that population can afford that flight? India, Africa, Pakistan, you get that point. That's a really good point, Wildman of Yavin.
Mm-hmm.
That's an excellent point. Because and how many of them are going to be able to afford the cost of a admission ticket? There's a lot of very poor areas around there. So yeah, that is very, very true. And I am going to find the Wild Man of Yavin.
It was a peaceful planet until he arrived. Then he brought wild to our skies.
But yeah, guys, Packing Protons for $2 says those the original teacups, 50 years of germs. Yeah, probably
70 years now.
Yeah. First Dragon Queen for $2 says you still have to create with AI. Hugs for all. Thank you very much, Dragon Queen. And thank you very much to my wonderful panel here today. MJ, tell the folks where they can find you, your Instagram.
Yes, my Instagram. I have some very good links that you'll find interesting. And I'm pretty active on X, but I'm more active on Instagram. And then you can find me in this fine, loving place called That Park Place, where we talk about all the news that should be fun on Mondays and Wednesdays, 12 p.m. Eastern. I try to follow the Bradley's fun and join the dish when I can. I know his schedule, he's changing that up a little bit. And then on Fridays, I'm with Erica and her crew for Brood Banter, Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then there's some other places that you might find me. So I don't know.
Erica, why don't you tell us a bit about that Brood Banter and what you got going on?
So it's me and Raph. So you guys can come and hang out with us on Fridays at 2 p.m. after That Park Place. And we just sit around bantering about either our personal lives, military life, maybe some current events of the week. This week, there's a lot of Disney news. Well, we love theme parks. We are old school Disney fans. So probably be talking a lot about the parks on Friday, most likely, if we don't derail and talk about something else.
Absolutely. Vash Sky, you dropped some major news for those that weren't here at the beginning of the show. Your new channel, Vash Sky Parkcast. Tell us a little bit about that and when we could expect our first video over there.
Vash Sky Parkcast is going to be within the next 2 days. Well, I'm going to be trying to do it tonight, but if I don't, it's certainly tomorrow morning right there. Talking about Josh Giamaro, of course, and we're going to have another video talking about the dangers that Josh Giamaro faces, specifically from Disney's newest villain, that being Dana Walden. Oh boy, what pitfalls, traps can she lay? Well, you'll just have to wait and see right there. But a lot of people have been asking for content from me specifically. I want to go ahead and deliver that to you. So for the first, couple of videos right there, just going to be me. Just going to be my thoughts. Going to be communicating those with you. Should be a lot of fun. And then we'll bring on amazing personalities like Erica, like Marv, like MJ, and so much more right there. It's going to be a lot of fun. But it's certainly going to be my voice, my channel. Very, very cool. You can find Vash Sky Parkcast at YouTube, as you can see right there, but also too Instagram, TikTok, and go ahead and follow me on Twitter as well. Thank you so much for everybody who has supported me in this amazing journey right here. It's been a long time coming. Hopefully, I can deliver you the content that you are seeking from me. Should be a lot of fun. Definitely check it out, and please subscribe.
Cuban Superman says he's sub number 64. When I subbed earlier in the show, I was sub number 3.
Whoa!
So you are racking them up, my friend, already.
Holy smokes! Thank you so much, guys. Seriously, thank you.
Can you put the link in the chat, please? The chat's asking for it.
Absolutely. Here you go. Here's the link that you can use right there to get yourself over to Vash Guy Parkcast. Make sure you turn on those bell notifications so that way you know when those videos drop right there. If it's even available, I don't even know if it is. But if it is, please go ahead and activate that. The first live stream will be coming up very shortly right there. I'm going to have to coordinate with Pro on that. I think that should be really cool. And I'm going to be trying to make appearances on Marv's show, on Erica's program, as well as some others within the That Park Place Network, WW Pro, and so forth, in order to get the word out right there. So, hey, to stay in touch, make sure you follow Vash Guy at X as well. That'll help you out too.
Make sure you guys do. And guys, for me, make sure you check out the M4 Empire, my YouTube channel. New video coming out today. We are also going to have a game stream on M4 Empire Gaming, completely separate channel. We're playing more Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate on the Switch 2 tonight. And then after that, head over to Geeks and Gamers Play at 9 o'clock because we are going to be playing Mario Kart World. And I think tonight is my night. I think I might get my first win tonight. Just saying. But thank you guys very much for joining. We appreciate having you here at That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.